forget to hit the like button on the closing show. Peace.
Hey guys, welcome in. 2 o'clock. That means we have 2 hours to go. It's turned into a bit of a negative day once again, back to the downside for both the S&P and the NASDAQ right now, although there have been just wild moves throughout this session, depending on what you're looking at. We'll get into Tesla, I see not Tesla, I should say, Twitter, one and the same maybe soon, but Twitter just taking out the highs back to the upside. Elon indicating even further that deal could be closing on Friday as expected. Tesla with a big day as well, back to the upside. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about Mobileye coming up here, breaking the open price anyways, not necessarily, whoops, I'm throwing things already. Breaking the open price already back to the downside, but not necessarily the listing price. How far will it go down? Here's a look at how things are shaping up so far this afternoon. About 0.3 right now for the S&P 500 in negative territory. 0.25% for the Dow. It is tech. It is NASDAQ. We'll get into Microsoft and Google coming up here, but it's been this way all afternoon. 1.6 right now for the NASDAQ. Nice day here in Toronto. TSX up at 1.25 on the back of this move potentially. 3% for oil today. Huge move back higher. For crude oil. It's been a negative week so far. Still some lingering positivity. Hopefully it continues in both Bitcoin and Ethereum, 3 and 5%. Off the highs, however, from earlier are both. Here's a look at a very mixed board right now. Typical for earnings season. You get individual names popping off a lot larger than the rest of the board, including Google up here, 7.8%, 7.8%, depending on what you're looking at. Google or Google, if you're wondering, one is they're just different class of voting shares. So Google versus GOOG. We typically talk about Google simply because it does more volume throughout the day. Right beside it, Meta down big time as well, 5.25%. Meta to come, of course, after the close tonight. We'll get into earnings from Meta. Netflix having a good day, 3.7 back to the upside. Warner Brothers here on the streaming side of things, downside, 3.25%. We talked about Boeing on the watch list today, 7.6 in negative territory. The rest of the industrials, though, not bad overall, actually holding up a little bit better than the rest. FFIV, STX, both negative earnings. Microsoft, negative earnings. Some semiconductors, yep, negative. Some earnings, TXN specifically reported downside. There's UHS, want to get into that a little bit as well. 12.6 to the upside. The entire healthcare group, a lot stronger than the rest of the market right now. Hope your afternoon is going well here. It's a busy one. So let's jump right into a few things that we were discussing in the pre-market. If you joined us, so much opportunity today, whether you're looking at a Boeing that reported in the pre-market or the big ones, Google, Microsoft, again, out aftermarket yesterday. What a move it was to get things going today. Here comes Sean. He's going to talk a little bit about one of his trades from this morning.
What's up, day traders? This is your trade of the day brought to you by Day Trade the World. Make sure you hit that QR code below and start your prop trading venture today. Look, it's going to be an easy one today. It's Microsoft. I mean, we had on our sticky note Microsoft, Google, a few other names, AMD, like Brendan was talking about, some of the semis. And again, the point of today is I wrote down on the sticky note that I wasn't even sure what levels to look at for Microsoft. So we let the thing settle down and then we traded. And it's funny because Microsoft, you're going to see down here 6%. And the only trades we have were actually long. So I just want to show you quickly here. This is the NASDAQ today. And you can see where we opened up. Pretty flat, like it didn't do much on the open, right? It kind of just hovered around this 11,440, 11,460, 11,500 down here before eventually breaking higher. Now, why did we break higher? Well, and this is the thing, I didn't actually believe that this was going to be the story, but today was at 10 a.m., we get the Bank of Canada, actually the first Fed from a major country that decides to possibly pivot. They were expecting to get 0.75. They only raised 0.5 on the interest rate, of course, is what we're talking about. That's Bank of Canada. So do we see something similar possibly south side with Jerome Powell coming up in November. We will see if that is the case. But look what happened when that news hit the market. It's an absolute monster to the upside. I guess it was actually 10:30, sorry, not 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock is sort of when we started to bottom there in the market. So let's go over the Microsoft trades. Look, this is why I say it pretty early and often. Join us every single day at 8:30. I said I'm not comfortable with Microsoft at these levels. So I'm not even zooming back to what was going on in the pre-market. The pre-market was about a 233 hold, which was up here. That broke. But look what we started to give us down here. It gave us a bottom of 230. So as soon as we started to see all these wicks, we started to bottom out here at around that 230 flat. That's the bottom, 230 right there. Right, coinciding. So that gave me confidence to go long. And when we did, the first one was a break of that 232 mark right there. We already made a bottom. We took out VWAP. We went up to the upside and we started cashing out. 230, 250, 233, okay? And again, those outs go right back to the pre-market bottom of 233. Okay, that's fine. It comes back in and we wind up getting out of the rest. So this trade, we're still up, but not that much because it breaks the 50 period back down below. Okay, oh, sorry, that's VWAP. Blue is VWAP. This is the 50 period pink. All right, but this is when the magic happens, okay? And you get lucky a lot of the time, right? We buy the bottom, we get out. So that's 230.50. We start getting out 231, 231.50 again. Then it comes back. And this is where you get lucky, for sure get lucky, because it didn't need to come back there. But it does, and we fill up again near that 230.50. And again, just giving ourselves 50 cents worth of risk. 50 cents worth of risk on an earnings day, right? Not that much, but look what happens. Boom, our first out's 231. That's 1-to-1, that's 50. Then it just starts to climb. Then we get some out here at the this is the 100 period moving average. We get some out there at 233. We're now in the money, 250 on this trade, and boom, up to the upside. Then we hold. Then we get that Bank of Canada move. And then it's like, okay, out again right there. 237. This is a $6 winner. That seems to be the lucky number here for me, $6. So it's a nice little win on that one. And we actually wind up holding about 20% of this trade for that move. Normally we would have been out in here somewhere, but when you get this kind of a movement up on Microsoft, it's like, okay, I guess they're buying those dips. The dip today to 230 and out. We actually don't have any more trading here at all today on Microsoft. We'll wait to see where we're going to go now. But again, a dip back down, respecting some of these levels. You should be long. We could get long in here, but I didn't see any top side levels. So we just get out on the bump. At that point, it was 237. We see it make these tops and then we get out, and then you can see the high was actually 238.50, but it's Microsoft. It's your trade of the day because of earnings and because it gave these bottoms. Sometimes the trade of the days will actually be negative trades as well. Like this could have still been the trade of the day even if we broke down to 230. The lesson is wait for some levels to develop. We have big earnings on tap still. We have Apple, we have Meta, we have Amazon. There's so many tech names that are still to come. Let's look for similar patterns and make them your trade of the day.
A great move for Microsoft, for Google as well. We'll get into both once again coming up here. Both were top of that this morning. If you haven't done so already, not sure what you're waiting for. More than 30,000 people, guys, getting that sent to them every single day. Make sure you're one of those. All you have to do is hit that link, enter your email address, and then it just appears for you in your email inbox every single day for free. I want to talk about Tesla here to kick things off because we saw another move from Twitter back to the upside, held 52.80 on that dip coming off what happened this morning. It was kind of grinding to the downside. Elon changing his bio apparently on Twitter. I haven't actually verified this. I just saw a story. But Elon apparently changing his bio on Twitter to head twit, or chief twit, I think it was, indicating that maybe, yeah, it's a done deal. Everything's going to be fine heading towards Friday when we get this closed. I just realized the board is not updated, so let me do that right now. Boom, there you go. Let's talk about Tesla rallying, guys. Nice day for Tesla, even with Twitter back to the upside.
Okay, I'm going to confirm it right now, just because you said not confirm whether he did it, but you can see, yeah. In his bio, Elon Musk on Twitter, and he is the chief twit.
He also updated his location.
Oh.
Apparently, Twitter HQ.
Yeah,
it's
Twitter
right
HQ.
there. So
Okay, so yeah, so it's real.
look, we gotta. Yeah, it's real. It's real. This dude is real right now.
And
we're gonna talk.
spectacular?
I don't know. I don't think Tesla's necessarily rallying on anything Twitter-based, but I mean, it might be. I don't know what's going on, but Tesla's been relatively strong the last couple of days. And guess what? Look at the bottom. Look at that long that we have, 224.50 right now. So we'll hit the sirens on that one. Here's what the chart looks like. I just came back, honestly, we were in meetings, came back here, and I said, look at this bottom. I heard Luca talking a little bit. He had the short, and I was just like, we bottomed out at 224. 224 was a nice number yesterday. We went long off of those bottoms, giving ourselves literally 50 cents worth of risk. First take there is $1 clean. Now we're $3 in the money and bouncing off right now of the 200 period here on the chart. So, you know, again, another little, 100. Call it the 200 period in the trade of the day too. It's the 100 period right there. So watch out to see this. If we break up higher, that's great. But this is Tesla, man. And you can see from yesterday, there's yesterday's 224 right there. So that came into play yesterday around noon as the high. And then so if we just drop this down here to the 5-minute chart or whatever, you should be able to see right there. So, I mean, that's the long, baby. So that's what we have on right now. And I put in the chat, like, I don't know. I see some traders up there. What's up, Dan McIsaac? Thanks for your kind words about this trade. I don't know where to get out, so I don't know if I'm going to. It's a good trade. Wow, there goes Mobileye as well. We've got a couple bangers on right now, guys. We're heated up one more time here today. We're up more now today than we were yesterday, obviously, at this point, as we had to battle back all day yesterday. But so far, so good here. What do you guys think? Get out Twitter right now? I mean, that's 228. It's a nice $4.
Tesla.
Tesla. It's a nice trade. Thanks. I told you that yesterday.
I knew it was going to happen
every day. It's a nice little 350 win right now. But again, you don't look at your P&L. You just got to trade things based on what you see. And it seems like right now we are stopping here at 228. So I'm going to get out of this at 227.50. If we pull back a little bit, let's put that in our pipe and smoke it and get out of Tesla. But great trade here to the north side off that 224 bottom. Pretty proud of that one.
And just actual Twitter here, just for a quick second. Twitter's actually at the high. Remember yesterday they had the big spike up when we got the news from Elon, and you sort of going long 52.70s and scalping that. That was a great trade. 3 times it gave it to you. We're at the highs now, but it did the same thing off essentially the same level. So it gave you 3 cracks at buying that dip. If there's a 4th, I'll do it again. But I didn't hold it for that top because 53 was the level. When Elon made that change in the handle, that's when it broke 53. And that's the issue with scalp trading, is a lot of times when you're sitting there with your shotgun take profits, if there's a big news event, by the time you're trying to cancel orders and hold some of it, it's already blown through a lot of those levels. I know I saw someone in the chat say they were looking to short the top on Twitter. Given the fact that you're still $1 away from the deal price, I really don't like shorting this. Because the risk of, I guess you can have a stop at the high of the day. That's probably the safe way to do it. But the risk of there being anything that firms the deal up, which could just be like a random comment from the administration giving up on looking into Elon on a personal level. And next thing you know, you're at 53.50, 53.80. We're 2 days away from this potentially closing, and it's still giving you a couple of points there in terms of deal spread, or almost a couple of points. So I'd be really careful shorting it. The longs off support, no problem. Every time it dips down there, I think you go long this thing.
All right, let's go on to the first IPO that we've had all year long. That's been a notable one anyways. There's been a ton, but they've all been 1 million share floats, it would appear anyways. Here's MBLY. Constructive, to say the least here, guys, on in market conditions that are not ideal for IPOs. 2670, it comes to market. There was a bit of a dip initially, but great move. All the way up to 2860 at the top there. Here we go again, trying to break back to the upside after testing 26.
Yeah, look, Mobileye, we finally waited for one of those IPOs where you're confident to take, well, I guess people have been taking some of those smaller ones for the opening print. I could never do those because there's no liquidity in them. But you know there's going to be liquidity with something as big as Mobileye, Intel selling like that 41 million shares. It was a simple matter of taking the opening print. There was, and apologies, because it's going to show a lot of these outs are purple. That's because there's a stop order that we throw, which codes as the sell of the shares that we have. And so therefore putting out take profits when that type of stop is in, it means those will get sort of looked at as a short sell because I already have a sell order. But when this took 27, it was off to the races. So there was a dip. It held 26.40. I got the opening print. Once it held 40, I adjusted my stop to the low of the day. And when it broke 27, I got this one out, which I think is a bad out. You should never do this because when it goes to 27 even, pulls back, bounces on a higher low, bounces off the opening price, which is tough to see here. Let me do that so you can see a little bit better. So it bounces on a dip right at the open price and then takes out 27. So getting some out in front of 27 is fine, but once it breaks, should have been waiting for those quarters on the way to 50s. It then did a bit of a fail at 28 even. That was enough for me. I'm making this play for the opening move generally. I paid for shorts because I want to short this thing at some point. If it gets up to 28 again, that's the area I'm looking for. But there's one other part of the game plan that I wish I had been patient enough for, because this opened at about 11:39 or 11:38. And if you flip to Intel, which owns a stake, I was shorting Intel the whole way up. I'm like, yeah, it's probably going to rise to the upside on some sympathy. And then this is right when the IPO issue happened, or when the open happened. That was the lower consolidation on Intel, and it fell and never looked back. Like at that moment, it was a short, still short it as it continues to fall. But if we get to 28 and fail on Mobileye, I'll be looking for a short up there. They don't actually make money yet. It's been around for a long time. It doesn't quite make money, but what a gorgeous opening trade that was.
All right, we haven't hit this one in a while. It's a chicken dinner, and it's a winner. Right there, Mobileye was absolutely fantastic. We talked about that earlier on. Wow, there we go. We just got a nice little fill there at 50. As here we go, man. Where do we get out of this one? I traded mine just a little bit different. We went long there initially. I was confused when the price first came out, and I thought we broke 50, but we didn't. We only went to 55 there. So my first piece out there, it's very small, but we did get a piece out off the open. Then it blew up, and then we got the majority of them out on the way up, obviously, and then I was holding for more. I still had 20 or 30% when we were all the way up here. So that's my mistake. Greed sometimes gets the best of you, and it did there, because we should have got out at 28. For sure, we should have got out there. We didn't, let alone 28.50. I mean, I was sitting here when this was happening, or close enough to it anyways. We had a meeting starting at 12, but right there. So we could have got out, we didn't. It went all the way back down, and that would have been a reload spot. So I said, hey, if I was here, I would have reloaded it. So there it is right there. We are here right now, and we did reload this at 26.80 or whatever that was there. Then it dipped down, and you might have, if you joined us when the midday show was there, it was like, whoa, what just happened to Mobileye? And there was the flush right there, breaking back down through 27 and just, you know, getting excited. Someone just said enough. And once it broke this IPO price of 71 right there, that created a cascade of orders to come in and flush it down. You might be able to see, yeah, good, we don't have anything at the bottom. No real volume came in on that flush. I mean, sure, there's volume there naturally, but not that much. So for me, that's a buy sign. We bought the bottom there, 26.38, only to be getting out now for $1.30. So to say that these trades were given, oh yeah, so that one. Oh, we did, in our meeting today, we do have, apparently next week.
Next week,
New graphics coming. So that should be a lot of fun finally. Hopefully we'll get some for Luca and Pratt as well. I know they're on the sort of the list of what to get. But Mobileye, anyways, now that we're just talking about this, we averaged in out, and now we have about 30 to 40% left of our position. So hopefully it'll rip up. If it doesn't, fine. We'll get out near the bottom somewhere. But Mobileye, now that I've calculated all this, it's impossible to be a loser. Very good trade today. We love those IPO trades, man. It still remains the exact same trade for the last 21 years anyway, since we've been looking at IPOs, is the fact that you want to go long off the open, and then if it breaks, then you just get out of that price. So I feel like pretty straightforward there. Congratulations to everybody that traded Mobileye today.
Yeah, great opportunity, both directions on the initial move anyways. Back to the upside we go right now. Here's Google. I was just looking at the chart of Google. It's amazing. 8%. You don't often see a name like Google down 8% on the session, but here was a note that we were discussing in the pre-market this morning. Yeah, ad spending pullback across the board, hurting not only ads on Google itself, but YouTube specifically, they pointed to as getting hurt by that and will continue to be going forward into the new year, according to their forecast.
Yeah, and this morning was look, obviously we're down. I think I want to say 6% was where we were on Alphabet, and Microsoft was the other one. Basically at 6% when we started the show. There was that flush off the open where I missed the break on Alphabet at 97 because it happened pre-market. I wasn't locked and loaded to go. It made the breakdown pre-market in front of 97. When it started to come back up, I just simply started shorting in front of 97 until it eventually broke. Initially, it was pretty good, and then it was just fighting. This was the last stock that I was short of. At this point, by the time it broke, I think I'd reversed long on like 5 or 6 things, and then eventually reversed long on Google. But it's now back below 97 and falling. I don't know why I'm missing data here. But Brendan, what was that?
Twitter guys popping here. Elon Musk apparently going to be in the office at Twitter this week. That just coming across. So big volume spike here for Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, this
Don't
is a
go
done,
short the stock.
Yeah, this is a done deal. The only problem is we'll hit this because we are now out of the, you'll see that, I'm now out of the Tesla trade, unfortunately, guys. We banged our head up against 228 too many times, and then it failed, and we got out on the 227 break. Not getting a great fill. I guess it's not bad. We got 85s, so not bad, although this, you know, I feel like that slippage is okay. About 15 cents there on the break lower. So all good, but there it is. We went long at 224.50. We got out at 227. A nice little win there for that. But never fear. I know we're talking about Google right now, but Apple. I left Apple alone all day until 151 came. Short 151. That's where we're short right now. And Apple breaking lower, lower, lower. Now near. Oh my God. Near the low of the day right now goes Apple. And by the way, for everyone wondering, I have just talked with Valeria. Valeria is back in Russia and enjoying life right now. Should be back in Toronto in December or so. So shout out to Miss V right there. She says she misses everybody. Oh, wow. I mean, the NASDAQ right now, this is on a 3-minute chart. But look at this move.
Dump it.
Huge move down. Yeah, let's go dump it right now. Don't let some of this money come running out of your portfolio. You were actually close to being positive, if not positive today. 11,700 on the NASDAQ. No, we might have not gotten there. I don't know. I'll have to double check to see if that's true. I have to have day separators on here. But there's the move down, 11,500 right now. We're back to that level. So let's see. This was a key level yesterday. It's back into play today right now. And again, what are we going to do with this Apple trade? It is continuing to make new lows here, Apple. Good trade on that. Google today was actually my worst stock. Now they look at this net. My worst stock today is this Apple trade. So let's see what that means here. Or sorry, is this Google trade. Again, going short early. It was fine when we broke that 95.50, but that was basically the bottom. Right where we sort of got some Microsoft longs, we were able to get out, which is smooth. Nice out for us there on Google, but it still ripped up to the upside, and we did net loser here. But we have left it alone, so maybe we'll go back into some Google right now. But again, nice move up to 98. And I said on the sticky note, I mean, I just got to respect this a little bit more. We said just stay short. So, you know, I'm fine getting out. The market was ripping, but then to have looked for a short probably should have been something there. And again, it's not an excuse, but, you know, Neil and I were in meetings in the afternoon. It's true. So we did miss some of these highs that had come in. So right now, I think I'll just look for another bottom around 95 right here. Wow, Apple is really accelerating, man. This is now 250 in the money on obviously this short for AAPL.
This note, it's Bloomberg reporting this, guys, on Twitter, that there's a memo apparently that was sent to staff suggesting that Elon will be in the building this week. So Twitter is still day highs, essentially. Let's talk Microsoft here quickly. Another one that's, I mean, it held up a little bit better than Alphabet, but not much, guys. Off a forecast that was worrying, to say the least, for Mr. Softy.
Yeah, the thing with Microsoft, at least this one for me, I only liked one level on Microsoft. It made it a lot easier to sort of trade this. I ended up long it before Alphabet, but it wasn't until it was above 233. That 33 level was what I wanted. And at least, like when it broke down, Alphabet broke in the pre-market, and Microsoft made the breakdown right before the open. So it took out that 33 actually well before the open. It was about 9:15. So 15 minutes before the open, it's broken that 33 level. And then right before the open, it goes down into 230. So when it was in this little middle, I just simply waited for it to get above the opening range, hold 233. I went to long, scalped some for $2, and then got the rest out when it curled here at 37. I haven't touched it since because I didn't think shorts until 240, and now it's kind of diddling in the middle. I think 33 might end up being support. It did bounce once. I'm looking at it now, and I'm like, yeah, that probably was pretty solid there at a 233 bounce. But if it comes down there and holds, no issues with that again. Just one other one, because got to show you Meta here. Meta, obviously, the report tonight. That's the first thing I should be telling you guys. But down 6%. As the market is essentially, the ES is flat, the NASDAQ's down more. But it just got through 130. I had a bounce off 130 to about 130.50, and now it's breaking the lows. This is a bit of a clear trend to the downside. Remember yesterday they were buying some of these, well, not some of these names. I mean, specifically they were buying Microsoft, not they. The market was buying up Microsoft and Alphabet strong into the close. It's the exact opposite happening here with Meta. It turned on a dime, and really, there's pretty much no end in sight.
Oh man, I would not want to be in that Twitter office on Friday when dude shows up, man.
They're already looking for jobs.
He's going to have an axe in his hand, I'm pretty sure about that one, but we'll wait to see. I don't know. I just know that he was talking about some cuts there coming through. Look at Apple, man. It is still, we're down to 148 right now. Like, wow, crazy movement here for AAPL. I don't. My out's going to be 149. I mean, I'm going to have to try to respect this a little bit to that downside right now. So watch out for 149.13 or so here on Apple. We'll see if it retraces back up. That's 60 cents. It could go. So just be careful with that. That's going to be my out. Check back in on Tesla. I don't want to sneeze here. 226 right there. Good out for 227. Trying to bounce a little bit now. Not too much interest. Look, I've already done sort of the trade of the day was on Microsoft. It's going to be net my number one stock, although Apple's trying to make that move right now. But yeah, Microsoft, big movement again. And for me, it's a banger because we actually followed our rules. You know, this is why, again, we really love sort of the environment that we have here, and then you guys are part of the trading group, and that's why I look all the time at the chat, not all the time, but when I can, because I said that yesterday. Too much trade. Yesterday in Microsoft was my worst. It's not. They're not here. But yesterday, in all of this crap, yesterday morning, I was short and then long and then short again, and it was just a nightmare. And I was just the wrong way. If I had just waited for levels to develop, then I could have hit it, right? So today, we sort of did that. We waited for Microsoft, and we talked about that at 8:30. It's even on the sticky note. It says right here, slowest revenue growth in 5 years, rough for Azure, looking short, levels are murky, wait for open to make a play. It's like the playbook for me is right here, and we followed it almost to a T. Pretty much to a T. I mean, I can't do any better. Waited for 230 to develop, got it, went long, and the rest is history. So, and that's the thing. Like, I sort of thought about that. You can get carried away looking too deep sometimes into things. Like, even if this 230 breaks and I get out, I'm still happy with the trade. It's like, you got to make trades based on things that you see. And if I see this 230 as being a bottom, then the future's starting to reverse. Looks like it's going to hold. Part of it is experience as well. But when that comes into play, man, those are the moves that we make. So Microsoft, big time trade here for me today. It's your trade of the day, and I'm pretty proud of it.
People are quick, man. Already sending me the Ari Gold meme with the paintball gun, Elon going into the Twitter office. That's kind of funny. Let's talk chips here, guys. If you had to point your finger at a group that was a little bit weaker than the rest, AMD 3% on the session here, heading towards day lows along with Apple. I mean, all of them looking there or thereabouts. TXN did report. It's down as well. Not much of positivity, even though the daily chart's still not bad over here.
Yeah, so I'll be the happiest over probably NVIDIA. Mobileye was great, but I think, look, the IPOs, that's a very specific type of play. Like, take an opening print and then just kind of have it go. Like, I don't want to call it a gimmick trade, but it's one of those like one-offs. You do it when it happens. It's not your everyday bread and butter. You don't get a big IPO every day. But NVIDIA, this was a great opportunity. I was shorting just about everything I liked for some shorts in front of resistance, NVIDIA included. Kept shorting at the open in front of 130s. It worked. It got some at 27, got some 27 halves in there. The last out was at 28. But once we broke that pre-market high, it was just a long. It was several longs off the 130 level, scalped to 31s, held some for 33. Then there was a nice little dip opportunity in here to 132. I ended up trailing some out, didn't like it, got right back in. It then took out the top, I added, and then I zoomed out. And remember, this is yesterday's high. So
Were you in doubt?
yeah, when you're not in doubt. But this is yesterday's high at 133. So once that failed, it's like, okay, give it a chance to go. But once you're below 133, got to start covering it. Now, as Sean mentioned, it's not an excuse. It's just the absolute truth. We were in meetings. It then holds the 133 for the entirety of said meeting, but before rolling over. So I can't tell you that, look, obviously that's a pretty decent short opportunity. You end up getting, I'll show you a 15-minute what it looks like. You end up getting a wick top off yesterday's high and a consolidation lower. That is literally my favorite short setup. I wasn't here to execute. I did trail out of my longs at that point, but the short that I did like no matter what was Intel. I just started it too early. Started it early, got stopped. Started early, got stopped. Mobileye opened up, just short it where it lies, and still in it. I'm holding out for 27s. I think we have a chance to get it. We'll see if we do. I actually just got into Twitter. I'm adjusting my whole scalp trade on Twitter, which is, it was long at 52.70s and 80s. And then I was thinking 53s. Now I just want it above that previous resistance. I'm kind of going long here in front of like 53.15. So if it holds that level, then I want to be long, basically buying dips with stop underneath support until it gets to the deal price on Friday.
All right. Yeah, like Friday's only 2 days away. Like it's.
Well, yeah, it's not, I'm talking like it's still.
Yeah,
Friday.
no, I'm just saying, like, it feels like that's right. Like, the deal's going to close, dude's rolling up to the office, and then it's see you later Twitter, right? It's going to go private. So, all right, AMD here, pretty easy trade again today, but not really. Early, very, very confusing. This looks like Microsoft yesterday, so although we said we learned our lesson, did we? I don't know. We went short, able to capture some profits, got blown out on the top there at 161 broke, then re-engaged the short, boom, boom, boom. Then we managed to go long, and then this is why AMD is a positive stock today for me. It's just, we have this long there at 60.50. It's more that reload rate there that dropped back in and then banged it to the upside here, 61.80. Some good outs. Look at that last out right there, 61.25. I don't know what it was breaking at that time, but it must have been something. So it breaks there all the way to the downside, right down to the day's low again. Like I said, no excuse, but right down to that low where you could have picked some up, and now we're almost right back. So I would say, just like Microsoft, just like them all, there is going to be trading happening here in these names. So watch out for 59.30, 59.20 here as a bottom for AMD, but a good trade. And then we don't have it on there, but if it's going to be a chip name, we might as well talk a little bit. We did talk about Mobileye early, but this is going to be a trade that we just got a piece out when it broke VWAP down there at 27.22. That sucks because now we're right back up, but we only have now about 10% left of this. I'm waiting for the moon or the gates of hell all the way down here, because at this point we don't have much left on board. So we'll see what happens here for this name. I still obviously like Mobileye for the long, but it's going to have to come back here where we reloaded on that dump. So AMD, Intel, NVIDIA, Mobileye. So that's four names there, Brendo, to wrap up the chip overview or rundown, I guess. Anything else you want to get to here, Brendo, before?
And this one, yeah, real quick, guys. Crypto name just popping up on volume. ARBK, having a big day anyway, but just popping up in front of me on a screen. Again, crypto related. Crypto, it's worth noting, guys, still very strong. Nice couple of days here for both Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Yeah, like they've been pretty decent uptrend holding that 20,000 on Bitcoin. But there is one name. We want to go to Netflix here because Netflix broke that 300 level. I think we were talking about this for the 300 in the morning show. I'm very certain we were. But you kind of look at how strong this has been the last couple of days. Look at the breakout. And then look at it. Look at the shorts at 294, which were fantastic in yesterday's trade, even including getting stopped out. And it happens like right after I stop out of that last short, it ends up flushing. But that's where we broke out from. And you should always do this. Like even if you don't get to trade in something, if you like the level before, just go back. Like, have a quick look to see like that support turning into like that resistance check that turning into support on the way up. Like that's almost a day maker because you might miss this trade because I'm looking for shorts in the morning. But suddenly it's like, oh, I like 294, stops at 96, pulls back. Once it's holding 94, okay, break the top, 94 stop, it goes to 300. So now that you've broken 300, I was short in front of 305, and the mistake I made there, I think, would have been sometimes you got to let it run the stops. I thought this was the curl. It got to 305. I shorted on the way back down, shorted more in front of 305, got stopped out. Obviously, it then wicked everybody out up here because it got to 305, 65 or something like that. Then there's your stop out. I get back in, but don't get it all. And of course, it goes down into VWAP. It's now holding 300 like a champion with the market heading down to the low. So once again, Netflix is stupid strong, holding that 300 level. If it tries to bounce off there, looking for a long opportunity, as long as the ES isn't breaking its low of the day, that would be step one. The NASDAQ too. If they're not breaking the lows, then 300 a decent level for Netflix. What an absolute monster this has been since earnings.
Oh man, yeah. Like I was like I said, I keep saying to myself, I'm going to get out of some of that Netflix, but I haven't yet. It's been a good trade, needless to say, like Neil was just mentioning there. Yeah, still there, still a good trade. So we'll see. Maybe we do wind up getting some out there of Netflix. But okay, so yeah, we are actually long that name today as well before having it break. Short Netflix there before having it break. We were able to take a little bit of profit on the name, but obviously not enough as it's continuing to make that move to the upside. Of course, that is Netflix right there. We had the short, we captured a little bit, but then got blown out when it did take down that level, 305, 306 it was actually at that time. So yeah, not great for Netflix there on the short. But again, we had the short, it just squeezed us out. And that's going to happen to you pretty much no matter what. If you're going to have shares, you got to have outs. And I mean, sometimes it looks bad, sometimes it looks great. And it's just, that's what it is. We did get stopped out there on Netflix, but I would love to have that opportunity again if we can get up to that 304, 305 area. So I'm here to short it if we can get there. Let's see if that does happen. Go ahead.
I got to talk. So Boeing's about to go SSR. I don't know why we're looking at, hey, what just happened to us? Oh, there you go. No, they were just showing the other camera, so it was empty chairs. But don't rewind this morning on Boeing because I will be forever hating myself over this. I have to. I like two levels. I like 150. I like 141. I didn't so much as look at Boeing, by the way. There was too much happening, too many things to watch. And then once I was waiting for Mobileye, I was pretty focused on that for the open. This is it going to 150, breaking by 14 cents, and then dropping in one shot to 43. Then consolidating at 141. That was the other level I was looking at. And look what happened since it broke 141. You're now bouncing off 10% downside, which, look, a lot of times you'll hear day traders say this. When it gets to short sell restricted, that 10% down, you kind of look for bounces. So I know this looks god-awful after earnings, but if I can find something, like it's 132 right now is actually holding. I'm not sure if it ticked SSR, but that's about as close as it's going to get. It's been a dumpster fire here in Boeing. I'm just going to quickly go to the daily chart. It rejects a 50 period here. There's actually still room. It's put in a higher low since that bottom in June, and that's at like 120. So this market rolls over some more. Wow, Boeing. I didn't realize, and so thank you guys in the chat for pointing this out, because I don't think I had looked at it since it was at 140 with the market coming in here. Boeing just getting, slaughtered here. So if I can risk 30 cents and it bounces off SSR, that's generally a trade that I like to take. So cross my fingers. Not really. It breaks the low on that. 132, I should say.
All right.
Wow.
Yeah, Lucas, I have no idea. Whatever you want on that green screen stuff, either way, for me. Okay, so just talking about filming something using our green screen, our recent purchase over there. All right, so just looking at Apple here, it has retraced all the way back up. We talked about we only held 10% of that trade, so that is what we're doing. It's back up to 149 again. Debating going short again here, but I don't. It's more like I want to just kind of get out at that level, if anything. It's not really for me about reshorting it there. It's just kind of about getting out. We're already short up here at 151. If I'm going to play off some of these levels, and it needs to climb a little bit more for me to be super interested in that. So that's what I'm dealing with right now on that front. So, let's just stay with that, right? If we get it, great for Apple to that downside move, but I'm going to get out if that does come through. So let's just try to go, man. Let's try to hit more likes. Do we have that gangster like counter again? We could do that. That was kind of fun yesterday.
The ominous like counter? The one just...
The dislike counter? Yeah, the one that had like that crazy red stuff all on it there. Well, we'll see if Lucas can get it up. That'd be fun. All right, so let's just keep going. What, you don't want to get it up?
No.
What is the like?
I was just talking about Boeing, and I don't punch long and then say, yeah, I'm going to go long in front of 132. Like, I talked about the idea, why I liked it, that SSR, and now it's kind of gone here. So it's already up $1. If it comes back, I'd probably take it for less because, quite frankly, that's the bounce you're looking for. It's just that quick little relief bounce. Some people probably covering some shorts down there. That's a little bit frustrating, but it's going to happen. I'm not the only person looking at 10% downside. Like I told you, it's a trade a lot of day traders will be watching, especially when a stock goes down that quickly in that clean of a move. It's an obvious place where you can find catching the bid. And the other reason why it works is when it turns SSR, you then can't hit the bid to go short unless there's an uptick. You can cover longs, but you can't hit that bid aggressively to remove liquidity, which makes it harder for it to rapidly fall further. So anyways, that's another reason why it can be a decent long off those levels, which obviously I didn't get.
About that. I mean, I thought when I looked over at your screen, I was like, oh man, that stock's in trouble, Boeing.
These are both.
This might be in trouble. 135.50. I mean, this is just a tank city. Oh, and when we came back from a meeting, I had a bid here at VWAP, got out of it. We actually took about $1 worth of a hit there, which was not nice. Pretty nasty there, actually, for Meta. But again, today Meta's been pretty good. We were very, very patient with it. We got a 133.50 level, got them out at 134.50 is our best out. So far, so good there on Meta until, again, look where that is. We were just going long again, but I came back and was like, why am I long Meta? And then realized that I had to punch out. So not good there for that trade. But you are breaking lower. Meta has earnings. So like Neil's already mentioned, yesterday we saw a nice little bump up heading into the close. And that's made me think at least. I didn't have any earnings plays yesterday. We did talk about them, but personally, I didn't have any, skin in the game on those other than my long-term account, which is long, all those names. So that's bad for me today. But let's just go over this quickly. Meta down to 128. So that means let's look at this. This is a 20 period chart, right? So you're getting close again, but you still have a ways to go. So that's why when I look at this, I'm actually not convinced to go long. I mean, you're still down here in the doldrums for Meta. I mean, you could still get to 125. I mean, ask yourself this question. With whatever Snapchat came out with a couple weeks ago, or was it last week? And then you get you got Google yesterday warning a little bit about ad spend and things like that. And now you're going to be coming in, bad YouTube numbers, bad on the revenue side, Microsoft's first revenue growth decline in 5 years. What does that mean for Meta? So again, Meta, huge move yesterday up to 138. That was obviously a sell based on today's price action, but I don't think there's any levels coming in here for Meta. I don't really want to sit anywhere. If anything, for me, the trade would be a bump back up. So if we do bump up here, it's not going to happen. I really need to figure out all my lines because these are way too far. We've already missed the short here. So I think you got to come back to, now we got to go to support and resistance and just go to 130.50, but that's $2 from now.
The way I actually going to play this, because obviously I just unsuccessfully went long, but Snapchat's only down 1%. Look, I get it. Snapchat already got crushed on earnings, but let's start thinking about, okay, if the market continues to go down, I can't use a 3-minute because that's been a few days ago, so I'll go back to the 15-minute. So Snapchat never really got to $11, but it's made some successive, pretty impressive rallies. Today, I didn't go long in Snapchat today because, quite frankly, I was looking at a lot of shorts in the morning. And even this, give me a break. It breaks $10, goes 10.04, and then rejects it, wick high, and then it's been going down since. So 950 has been holding for the last 2 hours, $9.50 is held. Meta continues to fall. You see bear flags to the left of them, bear flags to the right of them, whatever, volley and thunder. So if that breaks, I'm just going to go short in Snapchat instead because shorting Meta at the bottom, it's tricky. It's really tricky shorting the bottom. If you get some good pops that you can fade into, I kind of like that notion. But if I can take this just simply breaking through support and it's a bit of a sympathy play, well, there's probably room to the pre-market lows if it gets down to 920. And even then, like this is, what is it, 20% or more than 20% from the bottom after its earnings. And Meta could be telling you there's more concerns for them as well. So Snapchat's trying to fill in the gap. I'll just short 50s when it breaks.
I definitely like that play. Okay, Google getting spicy. Ooh, Champions League football in 15 minutes. Shout out to Sharif. I hope he's doing well in Egypt.
Yeah.
I don't know when he comes back, but I think it was a couple weeks because you don't want to go to Egypt for 2 weeks. I think he's gone for a month. So shout out to Sharif, but we will find out about that. But Luca's killing it anyways on the midday show. So shout out to Luca. All right. Yeah. Whoa. All right. Yeah. You are right. Google is getting spicy, my friend. Why? Because this looks exactly like that Meta chart, but we're actually near bottom. So that's something to be concerned about a little bit here as we look forward to earnings from Meta. We already have the Google earnings, so they're already out. What a crazy drop. Yesterday, 105, man. Today, 95. So you're just taking out 10% on this name. Will it go SSR? I mean, it will if it breaks these levels. So we're going to watch out here. This goes all the way back. It's 94. Honestly, if anything, I'm going short on a 95 break, not long. So watch out for these bottoms here coming through. 94.50, 95 as a flat bottom. I don't know, man. I mean, this is what it looks like. The market is really puking into this Meta number. It's ridiculous. There are other companies, reporting market, by the way. But yeah, you're right into a level where I can't blame anybody for going long. This comes right back to where we sort of were getting out of our short initially. But yeah, it doesn't look so spicy here, does it? So I don't really, honestly, man, I told myself that I wouldn't try to fight some of these moves here, right? But the market is well below the 50 period and well below everything else. So
actually, remember the SSR number, like 10% down on Google's 94. So that's the level I was watching for earlier.
I feel like it's earlier than that.
Is it? Okay, it's around 94.
Yeah.
So 104, it closed at 104 and change. But either way, it's happening again. This is going to keep on doing this over and over and over until Friday. I mean, it's only 2 days. But Twitter, it's going to 54.20 at this point. So it's about, to me, it's about finding a place to buy dip, allow it to rip, find place to buy dip, allow it to rip. And that's making me hungry because I'm always thinking about food. Yeah, chips and dip, that'd be good. Now the market bouncing here, so obviously, it would have been just as logical to just take 51s long on Snapchat, and then if it didn't break 50, scalp it out. But I want to stick to the shorts there. I'm looking over at Netflix as the market is trying to make a bit of a bounce. I want to keep it on the chart here. So this is the NASDAQ down 2%, trying to hold the morning lows. The ES is doing something pretty similar. And then the last thing I want to kind of pull down and show you is you're diddling on a little bit of a bounce in UVXY, which has been trending to the downside. But if this does continue that, the wick top, try to get to 11, that continues to flush down, then I do expect we could have just made like a little temp bottom for a rally. Netflix has been relatively strong. So if it holds, and the last dip got to 299.40, if it holds 299, back up through 300 doesn't look all that bad. But I want to be patient with this. If the market takes out the fresh low, then I think you've still got the chance to give yourself that stop right in here to 299.
Yeah, I'm with you guys, man. I mean, a lot of people saying, people just waiting for that level to break. And I think on Google that 95 is it's just a little bit too much.
Everybody's going to be on the same thing. But
yeah,
sometimes, I don't know.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, sometimes those are good trades. Let's check out PayPal. PayPal's been disappointing to me today. We're negative on PayPal. I was going to say we're about flat on it. We're close to flat on it, but it did break lower there at the end. And yeah, this has been a disappointing name for us. Only down 0.4, so it's nice. But we did have some nice longs to come into play there. Oh man, that ripped up to 91.40 and I wasn't in it. Wow. Yeah, so there's a nice move up there. Look, we got in and then got out right away when it broke. And then right after that, it tested 89.70 and then ripped. Oh, that sucks. I wish I actually didn't see that right there. Quick update on Apple. As this keeps coming down here, actually, I got to change this now. I was going to use I will still use this. 148.90 or so. That wick high is 85. So I'm going to give it a little bit more than that, up to like 90. I don't even want to give it to 149, to be honest with you. If you come into this area, we'll just get it out. And like I said, just trying to stay real to the strategies that I have on Apple. So that's going to be that one. We are getting into a spot here that, a name that's still strong today, man. Tesla. I mean, Tesla is still very, very strong one more time here today. So we already had that nice bottom. It just came into 225. That could have been something to be respected. Again, I'm still waiting for that bottom to come in at 224, but this 225 looks pretty strong for a long as well. So there are some trading opportunities there, I feel like, on the long side for Tesla if we do get to that. But there's not much that's green today at all. Right now. So DraftKings is actually still up a little bit. Let's check out maybe Beyond Meat might be up. I don't know. We can check on that one as well.
Are you kidding me?
Well, what do you have now?
Like Elon did tweet again. So this is actually pretty interesting because the last two times that this has spiked up on I keep saying Tesla. I'm sorry, Twitter. Both when it was around 1 o'clock and then just now. Yeah, guess who's at it again? He just tweeted 3 minutes ago. So that last spike up that got to the high of the day got on Twitter. Like he tweets this, and it's just Elon It's just
with a kitchen sink.
With a kitchen sink. So
I saw that.
You know, look, the truth of the matter is, like if that's the way the price action wants to be, then let it be that. But if you're sitting in a long position in front of support, then you get to have the benefit of that. But you know, obviously it's a little bit weird to have that be the reason it just spiked up. That said, it was still a pretty structurally good trade, but sometimes you got to be lucky. Like if you're not in a position, you're not going to get that blind luck. Like I don't know he's tweeting that. It is what it is. I just find it rather amusing that that's what he happens to be doing. I don't know that I can ignore that 95 on Alphabet, and I'm kind of missing an hour in here. It's kind of weird. But like if that gets taken out, if we are through the lows on the NASDAQ, right, and we're making fresh lows, I suspect I'll probably just take that breakdown on Alphabet. Maybe just have a tighter trick, maybe a tighter out than normal. Instead of giving it like 50 cents, give it 25 on that break of 95. But I don't know that I can ignore that 95 break if it gets there. And I don't want to be ignoring Mobileye. MBLY. That's a new one for me, so I have to get used to it. But I don't want to be ignoring Mobileye. It's now getting up to that 28. So this is the level I was looking for. If it does fail here, the lower high, try to get past that 28.50, lower high, wick 28s, and then held it. If it does a similar thing here, sort of fail a 28 break, I am looking for shorts. We had to pay for locates. It's an IPO, obviously, so we had to pay like a set fee. I want to say it was probably like 3 or 4 cents a share, actually.
Yeah, I think it was 2.5 or something.
Yeah, that sounds right. So maybe 3 cents per share here at Day Trade the World to be able to grab that one. But if it doesn't hold this 28 level, I am looking for the opportunity to go short here.
Yeah, we'll just hit the siren alert because we're now $1.50 in the money on this Mobileye trade. So nice little flush down there, 226, giving us that long. Once we broke that IPO price, that's just another one of those trades where, for me, it's like one of those no-brainers where you got to get it in front of that next key level. So it actually went right down to 26 and didn't break. So lucky because, you know, if it does break, then I get out. That's where my stop is.
There was a million shares on that.
Yeah. But again, you know, we didn't know that until it actually flushed.
Yeah, I didn't know until after it happened. Like,
yeah, so a million shares could have got taken out. It's just pretty lucky that that was there. And then we just bought it back in. So I actually didn't. I bought this on the way back up. So I wasn't in it on the flush. So I bought it on the way back up after I heard there was a million shares there. So that's part of that one. I feel like right now, let's just get out of this. If it breaks back down below 27.75, then let's just take another $1.30 or whatever on this one and get out. So 27.75 there on Mobileye is what we're going to look for. So let's see if that can come through. That's going to be a name that we're going to look to do some damage on there. Mobileye. All right. So this is starting to get a little bit spicier right now.
So, by the way, this Epix just broke consolidation. EPIX was sort of in the chat. A lot of people have been talking about this one. It made this little dump here off this kind of head and shoulders 445, and I was like, it needs to clear 445. Like, you got to clear this or bounce off a VWAP or something. But it's cleared 445 for now. So it looks like it's on a run to this $5 level. I believe, I want to say the midday guys were talking about it, but I want to put words in their mouth. Off the daily, just going to quickly pull back to the daily chart. 5 is going to stand out. It's more like the high at 510 today. Here's where it kind of had support, and then once it broke it, that was your last resistance in the trend to the downside. That's 510, and then the 200 periods at 550. So even if this goes, right, like it's got 2 major hurdles to get through. And this time of day, with us going into power hour, you know how this can happen where at that late move tends to fizzle out if the volume's not behind it. But it is now through that 445 with a chance to get to the high. I'd be out in front of 510. look for a dip off that 510 level, maybe play that break, and then into 550 where, if I was going to short the stock, it would probably be up there. So let's see if it does want to have some run in it. I said I was going to do it, but I have yet to put my stop order in on Alphabet. I'm going to go ahead and do that now. That's through 95 even for the break. And, it's morning lows, at the lows, market at the lows, down 8%, or 9% actually. I'll take my shot at it with a tighter stop.
All right. What about a 129.50 or so break here on Meta? I mean, first of all, we're out of our Apple. So Apple came out there. I changed it to 75. Hopefully that wasn't a mistake because it only goes to 77 and then drops down a little bit. But there it is. There's the cover. So 151 will go bearish on that move because it was a great one for us to the downside. So there's the break there, 151, and there's the out there. Finally out of our last piece at 148.75. So a good trade there for me and for, I think the market did make a nice move down 2.5, Apple down 2.4. So good move there. What I want to talk about was Meta though. What about... again, trying to stick with, it's funny because now Netflix is going down on this move a little bit.
I know, it's just frustrating.
129.51 or so.
It just gave me the entry because I saw the market bounce off the lows again, was sort of holding that bottom, and then it got back above 300, held 99. So that was the long entry I was looking for. So I just got into that one, but just getting my stop order out there. Look, if something's gonna go, you got to find some relative strength that isn't Alibaba because those things in the afternoons. We're not necessarily ignoring the Chinese ADRs. It's just they tend to not move sometimes, and then it ends up being a wasted opportunity by paying attention to them. But Alibaba is pretty strong today.
Yeah, Alibaba is still up 9% today. Look at Mobileye. This is still above 28. So again, our out's going to be right here. It just went up to 28.10, basically the high of the day. Here we go. Mobileye is now going to the high of the day. So it's a nice move up there. What's up, Brendo?
Just reading an article, guys, on Apple. They will go to USB-C for future models of the iPhone as expected to comply with the European regulations that changed a couple months back now. But just an interesting note, not a market mover, but interesting note, future iPhones to have USB-C.
Okay, good. Yeah, that's good. Finally. That's the one thing that's switching over from my Pixel, which was USB-C. Obviously, I have the Lightning cable now. But I just, most of the time, I just charge it wirelessly. So all good. But I think that's a good move. Most of us have gone over to USB-C. I hate the mini USB. So USB-C, a great one. I think that's great for me, too. Everything, these Google Pixel Buds, everything is USB-C right now. So I think that's good. And no effect. There was that sort of warning from the European Union or whatever that they wanted to see something because it's kind of like anti-competitive. Like you're forcing people to buy different chargers. But I mean, electric cars do it, so I don't know. But anyways,
I think that's not a mature enough market. I don't think.
No.
I could definitely see some sort of down the line. You could see some maybe standardization come to that. Mobile, that's probably close enough. It just got to 28.50. And then kind of turn around there. That's a wick high through 28. That's what it did last time. So I'll probably work into something here. And then just to keep in mind, when I talk about that being a gimmick trade off of the open, it's not the right phrase to use it, but it's such a binary thing that most day traders are probably taking significantly. You're going to take more shares in that binary trade than you're going to take when you're sort of trading it off levels like normally momentum-wise. So it is a bit of a different game playing it after. But that 28.50 is now almost like a triple top in there. And I have wanted to respect it to the short side. Well, sorry, to respect it in terms of waiting for it to short. But at some point, I'm just going to take my shot in front of it. Again, they don't make money yet. It's been around for a long time. And it's not to say that they won't ever make money. I think the concept is it's going to win eventually. It's just in this environment, I tend to think eventually this is going down. I might be coming in tomorrow looking for shorts on this as well. And quite frankly, if I see 10 to 15 bucks on this in a few weeks, I'd be a buyer.
When?
Well, I said a few weeks.
No, I'm just saying when.
But you think it goes there in 2 weeks?
$15? I don't think
it gets there that fast. I think it takes some time.
I don't know. I don't.
And a year.
We just got to see what happens. I mean, there's still earnings coming out, so it won't be from Mobileye, but for all the other guys, there we'll see. But yeah, who knows? I'm just saying that because of the trajectory of many recent IPOs. So
it also probably bounces off the issue price. The issue price being $21. That's why it says it's up 34% when we look, and it's like, okay, it's basically, what is it, like $26.70. So it's gone up $1.70. like that's like a 7% move. But that's the actual move for any traders out there. But yeah, the issue price and the IPO price, obviously completely different things.
All right, so I'm going to cancel. I was talking about Meta going long there. I'm going to cancel that one. It's not really representing the levels properly there for Meta. I mean, I thought that it had a chance on that little move up there. Like you see, we did have a move up. It didn't really go, so I'm not super excited about it. One name that did go, obviously, we've already talked about Mobileye. That's $1.80 now in the money, so we're cooking up some profits there. But I did want to try AMD one more time. This bottom is 58.50 right there. I'm not going to hold it all the way to 59, but I just want to see if 58.50 wants to hold. So that's going to be a level here. We're going to average in. I'm not even going to look at Mobileye. I already have my out, so I'm changing my chart on that one. We took a small position here. We're going to take a little bit bigger one around that 59.50 area, and then just see if it goes from there. So we'll give that a little shot. If it does fall into the 60s here, we did dump to 65. So now that I see that level, I'm going to put a bid there at 65. Let's go 66 for a little bit of shares, and then that'll be good enough, man. I don't want to be averaged in all the way down just to watch this thing break, but there is a 55. The shelf is really at 55, not 50. So, a 50 break, still, I'll get out if that does happen. Here we come in one more time, back to this side. So we'll take, actually, you know what, I'm going to cancel. I'm going to take half the shares that I thought we want to take at that 65 area, and then take another one a little bit lower than that, near 60, and then that will be it. Putting in the stop orders right now for a break back down below that level. So if we break below, let's get out. That is 59.50. So that's what we're going to do right now. I hope it doesn't turn my frown up. Turn my
smile.
I was going to say frown upside down, but that would be turning into a smile.
You hope it does.
I hope it turns my frown, but I'm not frowning. That was the part that was. Okay, anyways, oh wow, here we go. The market is now spitting down to the downside right now, taking out the day's low here, actually. Right now at the day low of the market. So yeah, looks like we do want to get a little bit lower here heading into Meta. We are now in power hour as 3 o'clock has come and will not go away until 4 o'clock, right? So we have an hour of power. Let's see what we can do now. We did average into our AMD, now long at 75.
That's another graphic we need. We need like when 3 o'clock hits, you hit the power
bang,
hour.
It shows up right there.
That's a guarantee. We got to get that one for you. I'll do this and we'll celebrate. Like we waited patiently. And this is the thing. I waited for it to look at that quick wick high, reject the top, and then get into the trade. Whether it works or not, I didn't short it here, I didn't short it here. I waited for the actual move, and then you get a better price. If it flushes to VWAP, fantastic, it being Mobileye. And then guess what's 20 cents away from 95? It might be a trap. I understand that. A lot of people are going to be, the market's going to be hitting the lows when Alphabet hits this low at 95. Yeah. And there's a very decent chance that if it does one of those wick stocks, that everybody that takes that short as a day trader is going to have that itchy trigger finger if it doesn't flush from there. So I'll probably be one of those two, but I got to have it to that downside. I'll take a shot at this. If it gets to 94, I do like that. I do like that move. And when I say wick top, what's the best? I can't really show this. I'll go back to Mobileye because that's the easiest way to demonstrate this for you. When I say wick top, it's where you essentially have a pretty key level. So this is $28 right here on the lower high, right? And you get a break. This is a 3-minute chart. You get a break of that, and then it immediately rejects and then makes the next candle top right back lower. So it was very short-lived, that breakout. Now on a higher time frame, like if I pulled up a 15-minute, which the stock is barely traded, it's a lot more pronounced when you pull up a higher time frame chart. Like you'll see that same move. Like look at that, what's one candle, it's one wick, and the next candle on the 15 is right at rejecting and holding that 25. So even on like the 15-minute, here you see you have a couple, same thing, it broke 28.20, and you make that quick little rejection of the top. This is actually a better example of it when it broke the low. So the IPO open was at 26.70. It dipped down to 26.40, and then look at it on the 3-minute. So it flushed out, took out that low. I know because I was actually still in it. Made the wick bottom, saw 26, and immediately comes right back up to that 26.40 level. And then that's like a bullish thing. Like it wick bottom, bullish, wick top, kind of bearish, right? So hopefully that makes sense to you guys. But either way, I'm taking that Google. I want to go back to Epics. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. Just got some out there at 70s. It's continuing to 5. I'm out in front of the high. This, oddly enough, this did a wick top at $5. There's it breaking 5, gets up to 5.10, immediately back down below, and look how good the short was after that. So if I was paying attention to this at 1 o'clock, which I guess I should have been, that was a pretty solid entry point. It's not to say that you're short here, but certainly short on the consolidation lower. It didn't play the VWAP. It actually got back to $4 even, and now it's on the way to the upside. I'm getting out in front of 5. If it breaks 5, fair enough.
Yeah, we're getting itchy fingers as well right here to go from AMD out right now. We're down to 59.50 right here. We're going to get out once it breaks. We'll get out of half, and then we'll see. There it goes. So there we go. We got out of half right there on that
Netflix
break.
broke 99.
Just in case coming through. What's 99?
Netflix broke 99.
There you go.
Slapped a fail on that. Like this, and this is a relatively strong stock. That's giving up
Should
support.
just be short all this shit.
Yeah, there's not many. Like the only things I'm long now, it's like Twitter doesn't count. Epics, small cap. So, really just should be short everything, which I will be in Google in about 10 cents. But I do want to get a look at this bid if it does come down here. Because sometimes you just see like ridiculous size there on the bid. I'm kind of curious. 95 is a decent level. Yeah, what, like 170,000 shares. I mean, Google's Alphabet is done 66 million. So you're not going to have any trouble getting through that bid. And the difference between, so the reason why I would give respect to the bid on Mobileye at 26, whereas you see the big size on Alphabet, you're like, who cares? Because oftentimes you can find the underwriters wanting the first day to go well and supporting the stock on the bid because they have an option to buy more. I feel like it's Morgan and somebody else. For sure Morgan Stanley, but somebody else as well. Well, it's probably a couple out there. But they have an incentive to be on that bid and support Mobileye to make sure that it closes up. Now, obviously, the IPO price is 21, but it opened at 26.70, so supporting it makes sense. On the first day of Facebook, the best example of that in the history, well, in the time I've been trading, was when I think it was Morgan Stanley supported the bid at the IPO price on Facebook, got hit for like 15 million shares, and then just popped another 10 million shares on the bid. Was maybe the easiest long that I've ever witnessed in 20 years of trading. Because when you saw that happen, it's like, they're not letting it go beneath that price. And it was in the afternoon, it was about this time. And you're like, just go along into the close. That's exactly what we all did, and everybody made money.
All right, let's go to alarm here for a new trade. Obviously, AMD did not work long, and I don't know if Tesla is going to work long either, but we've already done Tesla really nicely to the long side once. It just went into the money about 30 cents for us off this position of 224.50. So that's where we're long right now. My out should be pretty obvious. It's right down here, breaking through 224. It didn't do it before, so let's see if it's going to do it again. And you know what? That's just what we're waiting for right now on Tesla. Wouldn't be surprised if it does take that out. So it's going to be about 60 cents worth of risk. So let's see if we can climb here on Tesla now. We still have half of our AMD trade, so that first half was bad. We lost about 20 cents or a little bit. I'll find out exactly for that. AMD is still not moving. It's still at this level. So, oops, that's Apple. AMD is still right here, a little lower than where we got out, but still holding that 59.50. Mobileye still holding, and then Tesla right now is holding as well. So far, so good. We do have some of these longs on. Let's go. Oh, I was hoping that we'd break 75 there. A break of 75, I think, gets to 225, in which we'll get out a piece, probably like 20% or so at 225, because that's the one-to-one risk to reward. Let's see if, there we go. Come on, break 70. Doesn't break 75 again right there, Tesla. So we got to try to hold out a little bit of hope for this one. But it's Meta, it's Ford, it's T-Doc, it's QuantumScape. They're all coming after market. So it's going to be a crazy day again tomorrow. Let's see if this market can hold. Come on, Tesla. Let's go. We just broke it. We're now 30 cents in the money. So let's get back up to the upside. Maybe we just take a piece out right now, but a nice move up now for Tesla. It stopped at 90 there. Let's put an offer at 90, whatever, man. We'll take 30 cents on a piece.
Yeah, I was just able to get another leg. We'll do this one for Mobileye. Just got down to 27.8, so just VWAP left. But I wish I could say that I was just going long and scalping this on Alphabet, because it just keeps on popping off this bid. Like, it sees, you could actually be getting 0.1 long and then just taking every single pop, which I know people are doing. Like, you're seeing, like, you see it get down there, people pop like 1,000 shares in there. Like, every time you get 1 or 2 long and it goes up, fills like 5, 6, and 7, you're just popped scalping 30, 40, 50 bucks, like over and over and over again. The issue becomes, like, if it's eventually going to break, and this is true for us, I don't know how true it is for everybody else, but we have to fire 2 orders.
Ooh la la.
Oh my goodness, thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much. All right, cheers.
Cheers.
I put a request in.
There we go, thank you. What I was sort of saying there is, we have to fire 2 orders. If you're in the long position, you have to 1 to get out of your position, and then 1 code it as a short sale, and that's for compliance reasons. So that can often mean you miss out on the short because firing 2 orders, that millisecond matters. And I've missed shorts because I was in the long and had to cover first and the second order to get out, and then I don't even get that fill. So that's why I'm not doing the scalp trade, because if I really want to just take a shot at that short level, I'm not going to go long in front of it.
Yes.
Speaking of going long in front of levels, well, you know, Boeing just came back. The first time when I mentioned this, it was fantastic. The second time, I cannot possibly expect it to be as good. It was clean, 132.20, right into 134. I can't really expect it to do the same thing again because it's the second move, but I will take some out 1-to-1. It just got to 132.75, so it is working. But the first time you get a level like that, that 10% down and bounce, that's when you want it. If it goes there a third time, nope, I don't want it. Third time is not a charm when I'm making that play.
All right. I don't know, man. We'll just go, oh my God, because Tesla finally went up. But we got out at 90 for 25% of it. We said we would do that, so let's just see now what happens here for Tesla. My next offer is right here at 225.30 or so. Wouldn't mind seeing a nice little move back to the upside here for Tesla. That would really make my day, because right now AMD did go back up to flat. We did get flat on this trade. It did go up to that 59.60 area. Let's just see if it does want to hold some of that bottom there. We're going to get out if it does break the bottom now, breaking through 40. So the mistake was really going long on this name here for AMD. Just thought that there was a chance that we were at this bottom right there, that shelf, but it did break. So it would have been, should have been, it doesn't matter, I'm not in it, but that should have been the short. Like, instead of going long there, should have shorted that. So again, understand what your market conditions are there, and we should have shorted that trade. So we're going to hold out, be pretty lucky if this happens to go back up, but I have it defined out down there, breaking through that 40 level. So if that does happen, then we'll get out. I'm just making sure that I do, yes, I do have that order in there. Didn't want to make a mistake there and not have that. Why watch Mullen? All right, let's go over to Mullen here. All right, so Mullen back to 50 cents. Yesterday I wrote down that there was that wall at 80, right? Obviously we're not there yet. Today it looks like it's 53, 54 has been the top. You know, I'll bite on that. Looking out for Mullen here. It's a good trade. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It's 200 million shares again. So for some of you home gamers that want to trade something that's sub-dollar or something like that, that has potential to hit some moves and some key levels, Mullen's going to be good, man. Bouncing off 51 a couple times up to 52. So you're just in right now a dollar, 1 cent range. So again, you could trade your shares appropriately and make that, right? So let's just be very, very careful here to see what we're doing with Mullen. But I would say a break below this 49.50, and you want to get out. Is that Twitter going crazy?
No, like what's hilarious about it is I basically just said, I'm like, oh, I'll take the shot on the 95, but I'll go with that. I'll go with the quarter stop instead of an Alphabet. Yeah. And I'll go with a quarter stop instead of a normal 50 stop. And so what does it do? It breaks, I get 98 short, it instantly tags out at that quarter stop. If you had the 50 stop, you're still kind of in this trade, and it can still work to the downside. I didn't want to get trapped to the bottom, but sometimes that'll happen to you. And if you just took the long over and over again, you definitely won. So I'll slap a fail on that breakdown trade. It could still take this out. Maybe it's got a second salvo there. It is worth mentioning. This is the other reason I kind of, like, I'm looking at these shorts. Like, look what's happening on UVXY. Oh, I got to zoom in for you guys. This is what's happening on UVXY. It's trying to break out off of the lows and go to that upside. So this happens, and we start testing back up to, I had this level marked off from weeks ago, and start testing back up to like 11 quarters. Then the market should take out these lows, and just about everything I think should be falling. Oddly enough, I never got the Snapchat short, so I guess it never broke 950. But Alphabet, like, that was that crowded trade. I heard some of the guys in the back. I'm sure I wasn't the only one that got that stop out.
The craziest thing, I thought you were talking about Twitter. The craziest thing about Twitter, I just went long, by the way, on Google, was that my bid, and we talked about this earlier, was at 75, right there. Do you know how low we got to? 75. So I missed all these bids down here, and wasn't even paying attention when it got down here. We were still on the air when it was down here. And so I was bidding 75 just randomly. Its actual low there is 76. So whatever, I probably would have been the most of them out anyways at 53, but then it came right back again to 78.80, and that was an easy long again. So we talked about that earlier on today, how some of these longs would pan out for us. Oh, and by the way, Mobileye right now, if this isn't an NFT trade, I don't know. Long, it's just too bad that we have that tick there. But long there, long again, and now you're right back to the high of the day. Mobileye, we might as well, I mean, I'm not going to get out, but you can if you want to. You're at the high of the day. This is a $2 winner. We have many $2 winners today, but Mobileye right here, probably worth taking. It's its first day. It's its birthday. But let's just see. I mean, I got out right there when it broke VWAP. That was a bit silly. So right now, a nice little take to the upside here for Mobileye. Let's just see if it goes. I don't want to have any stop orders just in case. So that's Mobileye. Tesla came back again to that level. We did not reload it. But 225 coming in again here off the close. Google's still not going back up. We're long right here at 14. I just took it when Neil was like, we heard all that noise in the background. I was like, I didn't want to, remember I was telling you, I didn't want to touch 95. So now once we've seen what it's done there, now we go back into 95. So we're going to watch Google here into the close, see if we get a little bit of a rally up, man. First part out, like, let's just take a piece out if we can into the high 20s, and then we'll see where we go from there. But right now, there it goes, man. Here goes Tesla upside. We're at 225.30 to get a piece out. So let's see if Tesla, ooh, we missed it by 3 cents. Thanks, Tesla. We'll fix that order up.
Yeah, and actually heading back into the upside, I'm gonna cover Boeing here just because, look, if it's gonna give me the dollar on the second half of the move, I gotta take it. I already said I suspect the second time off of one of these lows is not gonna be as good as the first time. The first time it got to 134, so it was about $1.70. If it goes further than that, fair enough. The market's still on the bottom. I'd rather just take the profit and run. I gotta show you Mobileye here as well, because whenever you're taking one of these trades, I'm never, even if I think, okay, my last out wants to be at VWAP, never holding the entire thing for VWAP, because you are taking a counter trend trade if you make that short trade. So you got to get paid something out so that if this happens, at least you didn't lose on the trade. If you hold everything, that means it fell down in the money for you 2-to-1, and you didn't take anything out when you had a 2-to-1 risk to reward trade. Now it's gonzo to the upside. The only other trade I would think about shorting this is about $30. I still think ultimately, give it a few days, and a stock that's not making money is eventually gonna come back down. But clearly today, the long is great on this IPO. Brendan?
Another one, guys, just popping up on volume once again. Here's Visa, 4.2% on the day. Just had a volume alert there. 202.50 seems to be holding as support, but nice day for Visa off earnings as well.
Right, we're just going to tweet this out because, yeah, MasterCard's tonight as well. Look at Mobileye, guys. We're still long, man. This is now $3. We said we had multiple. I said my magic number was 6. I don't think we're going to get $6 on Mobileye here today. Come on, and as if you guys all saw this live, man. I was telling you my price. It was 30. It went to 26 right there on that move up. So boo for you, Tesla. We're going to wait. I might just get out right now, honestly, on that Tesla move. Let's just take a piece out again at 97, 98 if we can. I don't know why I just didn't. There it goes. I was going to say, I don't know why I just didn't hit the bid because it was close enough. But there's another out for 40 cents, so we'll ride this now, hopefully. And there it comes right back up to the upside. Tesla, let's go a little higher. Let's go in here, man. Let's go 226. How much? Again, I want to make sure that we have enough shares to do this. So 225.90. We'll put an offer up there. If it runs up there, great. So far, so good. Look at AMD. AMD's catching that bid as well. So we just took another piece out at 69. Again, kind of flattening out this trade. We did take a hit there. We told you, you saw my average price was about 63, 64. We got out there at 48, so that's 63, 64, 48, about a 15, 17, 18 cent hit right there. So now we'll take this back up to the upside. And you can see where we're long right now, 60. So it needs to go about another dime before we can really claim this one to be a decent winner. Wow. Mobileye is just not stopping, by the way, and it's going through 30 right now. So congratulations, anybody that still has this. It's just absolutely gone. That was a fantastic reload down there and there. both of these. Wow. I mean, you don't normally see this, but again, maybe someone did get caught a little bit offside there. What did we just get printed on? Okay, AMD. So AMD up to 870. Sorry, we just got that tick. Fills are flying in right now. I'm long Google. I'm long Mobileye. I'm long Tesla. I'm long AMD. So we've got only long positions on right now. Let's see if this one can print a little bit better for us and give us another win here on AMD. Would be really happy with 60, guys.
I just covered Twitter, so I'm going to be essentially, like I have Intel, I'll take that one to the grave because it's nowhere near the highs. But this is where we're still at on the futures. So the NASDAQ still in the bottom end of the channel. If it breaks out 3850, it gets really interesting. The ES kind of the same thing. Sorry, that ES is what I was looking at. The NASDAQ, if it does the same thing, it gets pretty interesting. But as far as Twitter goes, like, I don't think, it's not breaking 5420, right? So at this point, it's at 5350. You just got to take profits somewhere. I expect there's going to be dip buys along the lines, and we'll keep doing it. I'll do it tomorrow, and I'll do it again on Friday. Hopefully, we'll have opportunities to do that. But at some point, it is going to get to that price. I don't expect we'll see 54 today. I'd be a little bit surprised if that were to happen. And there's a pretty big wall here at 5350. I see about, I don't want to say 100,000 shares on Twitter, and I expect there's going to be some ARBs that are like, congratulations to us, and will legitimately be selling shares up here. And why not take that? So
what just got filled? Tesla.
Yeah, like this market's coming back into that upside, but I'm not getting more at these highs. I would not buy Twitter up here. I'm only buying it on dips.
That's so funny. The guys in the back laughing at that one. That was a crazy little animation there. But yeah, Tesla right now, we're long at 224.60. We talked about that. It came right in. I don't know if the guys behind us had that or not, but that's a great little win again for us, man. That's twice. Twice is nice, man. Let's go to the moonshot here for Tesla. It's going to be my... Is it my number? No, it's still not my number one stock. Still, it's going to be hard for something to beat Microsoft, to be honest with you. So, yeah, nice little move to the upside right now for Tesla as it is starting to rock and roll. $1 in the money on Tesla, $3 in the money on Mobileye right now. 16 cents as AMD finally gives us that one-to-one trade. So we make back what we lost there and call it an even day. But that sucks that we got taken out there. Good thing we didn't get taken out at 40. And that's what I'm saying. Sometimes you get super lucky and don't get taken out, and other times you make the wick top, like right here on AMD. So, you know, sometimes there are going to be those plays, and it's got to work back and forth for you. If you do this long enough, man, you're going to have crazy wins and crazy losses that sort of have like those fluke kind of moves. All right, so that's 28.90 right there. If we break below 28.90 on Mobileye, then we are going to get out. So MBLY right there on NASDAQ, that is that bottom 28. What did I say that was? It's just this bottom wick right there, 28.90. So if we break below 28.90, let's throw out an offer to get out of that one. Another big time win for us on Mobileye today, man. We'll take that out. Couldn't be happier with that trade. Only would have liked to have held a little bit more there, but I thought we did pretty good. I should have a tick out there. And then you know, the reload, I just would have put more shares on the reload. But either way, it's a win up to 30 bucks. Maybe if we go to 30 again, we'll take that out. Key levels never seem to fail, right? So that's the one thing there. Sometimes they do. For that, wow, you want to talk about a key level? Look at AMD. AMD nicely done here. We'll see if it gets to that $60 again. That's the key level we're talking about. But a nice move straight to the upside for AMD. There it goes, man. Mobileye, Google, AMD, all nice winners.
Yeah, someone just asked Team PJ, any Epics trades? I did trade Epics. I got most of it out, and then it did the stop run at my break even, did this to me, and then came right back into the upside. So I am out of the last of Epics. I really only had one salvo left to get out in front of $5 anyways, but it'll do this. Like, it runs those stops, takes me out there, and then goes right back to barcoding at 460. It's late in the session for me to want to jump up and go into it at that price. So the only thing I got left is Intel, and the only regret I have about Intel was that I wasn't more aggressive with the notion of the second Mobileye opens short Intel. It's like the whole buy the rumor, sell the news. Of course, they're making money off of this, no questions asked. But I'll trail this one at this point. Like, I'm sitting in front of 27, even if the market goes lower, which it's still not breaking that channel. So I got no issue sort of sitting on this bid. But Intel often has an imbalance. So on a day where Mobileye has their IPO, I would suspect Intel has a decent chance of having a sizable imbalance. It usually pairs off, but if it comes my way, I want that to take me out. If it goes against me, I just want to trail out of this one. And okay, we're going to go to Brennan, come right back. When we come right back, I did want to talk about Tesla and Netflix. We'll come back to those, Brendo.
Just checking out Rumble. There's nothing since this morning on Rumble. There was a down detector actually, but big volume spike coming in here, guys, for RUM trying to get going as well.
Telling you,
well, it's been every time Twitter runs, Rumble goes too.
There's going to be an announcement coming up pretty soon with Rumble and Twitter. That would be my guess. I don't every day.
Every spike that we see on Twitter on volume, it's like Rumble gets spiked. As a matter of fact, it's almost like just if you see one and you can't catch Twitter, just maybe go over and take a consolidation long break on Rumble. But I wanted to quickly talk about Netflix because on that last little bounce to the upside, Netflix rejected 300 on the offer and then just came right back down and is flushing lower. So there is a chance. I mean, the market, we still held that channel. I mean, Netflix feels like a scalp trade off that 300 level, two-set downside. I was waiting for Mobileye. This is exactly what happened at 28. I told Luca this. The first time through 28, I was looking to short it, and it didn't break 28. I wanted a failed break and then get in. I wanted the same thing at 30 on Mobileye. Instead, it goes right to 29.84. But you got to take the trade the way you want it. And I'm not going to get into, like, I thought I wanted it breaking 30, running stops, and then shorting it. It never ran those stops. So, yes, it's a wick high, but it wasn't through $30. And that's the explanation for why I didn't short the 30 level on Mobileye. Look, I said I liked the 30 level. I needed it to get to 30. I didn't see it happen. So, unfortunately, no short there for me. And then Tesla, so similar move. The market came back up. This rejected, putting in some lower highs off VWAP. So some sellers coming into Tesla. We have a lot of earnings aftermarket. Obviously, Meta is one of them. This just also tried to break higher, failed at 129.70, so it didn't get to that 130 mark. That still looks like a bit of a barrier. I just prefer the Netflix 300 as a bit of a level. And don't sleep on Epics, by the way. Has a shot to still get to that high, even if it got me out.
All right, the market trying to rally backside a little bit here, which is good. We did have an opportunity to get out, and we took that opportunity to get some more out of AMD here as we approach 75s. So some more outs. Now we can wait. I have an offer at 82. I have an offer at 92. So we'll just sort of pick our poison here to the upside as AMD is now 20 cents in the market. I have an 82 offer, remember, and a 92 offer. So if you guys are in on that one with me. Tesla, we already got a great fill there at 226. So that was another out spot for us right there. Google, nah, it's not really moving, so this kind of sucks. In this nice little rally to the upside, I wonder what Meta's doing. We'll check out that in a second. But in this rally to the upside here, Google didn't do much, so we got one piece out at 24 off of a 14 long, and the other piece at 16, because as it was coming back down, I was like, nah, we'll take a piece out for some profit now. So we only have 60% left, 20% each of these trades. We'll wait to see if it comes higher up, but it doesn't look like it. We're going to respect that bottom there of 94.95 or whatever that is right there to come through. What just happened to Mobileye? Okay, so Mobileye is now out. Did that break? Really, did it break? Yeah, it must have broke. The funny thing is, yeah, it breaks there. So let's see what price we actually got. That's hilarious. So I don't know how this happened. It must have broken and spiked right back up. I'm out at 29 there. So the out was 28.90 break, which it broke for about 4 cents. And then it ripped back up, and I actually got filled better than that price. So good out for me there on Mobileye as that's coming back in. So good out on that one. Now finishing that trade. So I tweeted that out. So if you guys are watching out for that one. All right, here we go. Now we're really starting to fall back in. Tesla, man, I don't know. How much longer do we really want to hold this? What about a 20? I mean, what are we long at again? 61s, and we already have an out up there, so that's pretty good. Yeah, let's just hold. If we take down 220, let's just get out right here. 224.40. We break that, we'll get out and call it a day on Tesla. Again, a very, very positive stock for us, so we're pretty happy with that. But over at the big desk with more news is Brendan.
Just checking out Pfizer here, guys. That was, wow, 1.2 million shares. On that last, what is this, a 3-minute bar. Anyways, accounting probe apparently from Bloomberg here, $1.2 billion hidden profit from Pfizer. So monster volume spike here, downside for Pfizer.
That's not good. 46 was just support on Pfizer. That's the first thing. I mean, the first thing I'm going to see is, okay, well, where's support? Where can I take a reasonable risk-reward trade? So, where was support? That was 46 even. You also were just sitting at 46.25. So risk to reward, there's two pretty solid levels. I actually had this conversation with Luca. If you find two levels, and sometimes you can make two trades like you were in algo. You can have two separate stops where it's like, okay, well, I want a wide stop in case this absolutely flushes to the low of the day, but I want a tight stop for the rest of the shares if it gets above that 46. You can do that. I'm just jumping into this below that support. If it gets back to where the news comes out, that was at 46.15. I'm going to go one stop shop. I forgot to mention Boeing here, guys. I did get out of Boeing. It ends up rejecting that 134 again. So big line in the sand there for 134. I got out early anticipating that the second bounce would not be as good as the first. It was as good as the first. So you could have had $1.70 both times. I just didn't do it. It's not my style. I think each time successively it gets a bit of a worse trade. And I don't mind talking about it. I know you touched on Mullen. I think there's going to be a trade on Mullen tomorrow. I can't bring myself, it's 3:30 now, I just can't bring myself to look at that jailbreak long at 52. It's now held a double bottom on the stock, and this is pretty good support forming at 46. So that's what I'll be working with tomorrow. Like this 46 level on Mullen looks pretty juicy. As long as it holds this, I think it has another shot in it, and it gives you sort of an obvious out, 45, 46.
Yeah, we got more out of AMD because AMD went right to 80. I mean, you guys saw it last time. It went to 80. I was at 82. So we got out at 75 there, that same piece. So now I'm waiting for 92. Let's see if that can come through there. So the one thing there, I'm not sure if Brendan mentioned, I think he probably did, but might have been misheard there. It's the Italian government, it looks like, probed in Italy. So I don't know if that means it's like the U.S. looking at some dealings that they had. Oh man, look at these wicks down. Oh, that sucks. Sorry about that, guys. Like it obviously didn't trade down there. But I just wonder about that. I don't know if it's about like some of their dealings in Italy or what. But unless it's sort of DOJ or something like that, or whoever looks into those things on the U.S. side. I'm not sure that it's a major thing, but still, Pfizer with a nice little move down. And I feel like someone bought that up a lot there. It spikes down for sure, and then I'm just wondering of now, and again, the market is rallying back up as well. But
think where it is in the daily too.
Yeah, there's the move down. So 46.15, it breaks basically the day's low on that news, rifles down about 50 cents, and now is pretty much all the way back. But again, if you're going to short a name, I think Pfizer, you could probably do that against this 46.20. So right to where we started that, and the point about that story is sort of what I'm getting at is like, there's more to come on that. So like, we'll see, man. If they have like accounting issues or anything like that, that's not going to be good. Traders and investors are going to flee that stock until they get that all figured out. So I don't have to tell you about Pfizer's move, obviously during COVID, but it was a big one. It's trying to bounce now off this $40 mark. Looks like it's doing that. But again, I'd be very weary of that. So just keep your ear to the ground on that one, and we'll wait to see some more news from Brendan on that one. It's $500 million to buy here into the close. So that's good for me since we're net long, but it doesn't seem to matter for Google as that's still down here at 95.
I always say when in doubt, zoom out. So I looked at it, but I should have told you. I should always say this as I'm going through, looking at this. Pfizer is at, like, this is the 50-period moving average. It's at a major level on the chart. Like I own shares of Pfizer personally, so I do know, I'm pretty familiar with this $46 level. When it broke for good to the downside, that's when we made that low, and it just got back, and that is the 50 period. So I would suspect, like, this is already a price where a failure here, you would have naturally some sellers. So I'd come in tomorrow looking at the exact same level on Pfizer. Just going back over to Epics, I know some people are watching that small cap. I'm out of it. It just made another test. It tried to go again through 480, got ramped up a little bit. There was a big volume spike when it tried to take the high, and then another immediate rejection. So I'd be a little bit cautious. Up 170%, SO Pharma. But it's having some trouble going higher than this. So I'd be cautious. If you're sitting this one in the money, it's really starting to run out of steam. Give it some time. It still has 30 minutes to go. I'm out of it. I'm not taking it again. Alphabet, first time didn't work. Now it's back through that 95 level. And this is with the context of the market still holding some of those highs. So a re-challenge of the lows, if you get through here again, there still is a chance it could flush. Now, the only thing that tempers me on that is the early look is to the buy side. And it's not like 50 million shares, 500 million is not gigantic, but it's also not nothing. That's a pretty decent level, pretty decent size, 500 million. Here comes Netflix back to 300. I really only want the test of that 300 level because it failed on that last push to the upside, got to 299.80. So if we get up there again, I'll look for a little curl, try and grab like 70, something along those lines to risk 30 to 40 pennies, maybe a bit more with slippage on Netflix.
Man, going into XLE, going into Eli Lilly has really saved, not saved, I mean, my portfolio is a nightmare, but has saved some profits there. Check out Eli Lilly, just in case you guys were wondering about why I'm talking about this name. Brand new, there's not too many names that are hitting 52-week highs these days, but Eli Lilly, man, I don't even remember. I mean, I did it on the show live, so I'm not sure when it was, but I'm thinking I'm in Eli Lilly. I'm going to check after the show. I'm not going to log in right now, but I think I'm long here, like 230, something like that for Eli Lilly, as today we take out 361. I didn't even realize the kind of movements that's been happening here in the healthcare. I mean, I realized it, but had no idea we were up this high right now on Eli Lilly. So that's a brand new 52-week high, an all-time high now for Eli Lilly, up to 360. I actually want them to split this name because then it can get right back up here again. So that would be good. Eli Lilly. Another one, like I just said, XLE. I've been sort of touting all these oil names for a while. I've been buying ZEO because I had more Canadian cash. But again, this one, and we just talked about this. We actually got a super chat for XLE not too long ago, man. And it was when it was down in here. And I was like, you have support here. So if you wanted to go long, you know, better than the tech names, and there it is right now. XLE, once again, going right back to highs. Its high is still that June 6th. Wasn't it June 6th? Yeah. That's when the NASDAQ was getting killed, by the way. And oil topped out that day at 92, or at 127 or something like that. That's XLE up there at 93. So even despite the fact that oil is still down, you are getting, I'm not invested in oil, I'm invested in the names and in XLE. So far so good there. All right, something just came out there, Tesla. So these stocks are starting to really crank to the downside right now. I didn't even realize that. Tesla was just, look at this. Did something just happen? Because Tesla right now is getting, there might be news on Tesla, I don't know. Tesla just dropping $5 right now down to the downside. So, sorry, 226 to 222.
Tesla criminal probe, someone's saying
there
on
we
Twitter?
go, yeah, there must be news. Probe on Tesla. I almost got probed there, but I did have an out. So thank God for that one. What's up, Brendo?
Yeah, there's nothing more yet, guys. This is Bloomberg reporting this. Again, a criminal probe apparently for Tesla.
Huh?
There it is, man. Yeah, Bloomberg, eh? Yeah, okay, so we avoid the probe ourselves, but we still get out there. We were just cruising, like all of a sudden I saw my net, and that's why, man, it's still not a great out, but that's our last 25% out there. That sucks because we did have that trade. Now you're starting to go to the downside. There is some DOJ stuff here now. Let's go to Brendan.
Looking into claims that the cars can drive themselves with the autopilot activated. So that's apparently from the DOJ. Cars can drive themselves with the autopilot activated.
All they're doing is, it's that claim. So it's that Tesla's claim that they can do that.
Yeah.
So they're gonna, to me, that's a buying opportunity, honestly. I don't really see a problem with that, but you know, if it either works or it doesn't work, right? The DOJ can probe whatever they want. I'm going to assume Tesla has somehow tested their autopilot right there. But anyways, we're out of that trade. I don't know, whatever. That's just, I would say that's a nothing burger, but you never do want to have DOJ looking into anything that you're doing, because when you look somewhere, sometimes you uncover something
Well, that's
else.
the thing. Like,
so,
you never really want
I'm not
them
nervous
around.
about it, but that sucks. We just lost $1 there.
Yeah, you never want them
we did
digging
lose
around.
$1.
Like that's the reality. But that's a pretty big volume spike. If it closes above 26, I'd be a little bit surprised there. But guess what is now making a fresh low? So round one, Alphabet 1. And round 2 is now on, because it just, without the market going, this just took the lows again. And the low was now 94. It's not 95 anymore. It was like 94.90 or so. So I'm going to be back into Alphabet. If the market wants to go to the upside, fair enough. But I've seen this story enough times. You know, if we don't really break out of this channel, then the upside that you can have in the longs, especially in a weak stock, I think is a little bit limited. I did take advantage of Boeing, so I guess it's a little bit different when it was off a level that I had some conviction on. Like if it was 94 on Alphabet, I probably would have been long. That was at SSR. And as I look at it, look at Boeing actually still holding up a little bit. So I'm back into Alphabet on that short side of the trade, now back through. Looking at Tesla, if it gets back to 226, I don't really mind it kind of off of that level there. But I feel like if it goes up there, there'll be some safer plays to make. Like not something that has news on it. maybe something along the lines of that Netflix that I still like. So we'll have a quick look there. I didn't mean to ignore Bed Bath & Beyond and some of the meme stocks. And it is worth mentioning, if you've been watching Bed Bath & Beyond, $5, I was saying in the chat, $9.50 on Snap is still the bid. It is now held for like an hour at $9.50. Well, Bed Bath & Beyond is holding this $5 level like it is, like there's somebody buying this up at that price. If it wasn't so late in the day, I'd be taking a breakdown on this. And even Snapchat, at some point I have to cancel this order to take the break of $9.50. Because if it doesn't go, or if it's at like $3.50, I can't put that trade on and then have like 5 or 6 minutes for it to work. But wow, there's a big buyer. Every time like 20, 30, 40, 50,000 shares clears out the bid and then just pops right back up. There's not a forever buyer, but there's clearly an iceberg buyer at the Snapchat. I'll give it maybe 3 or 4 more minutes, then I'm canceling my stop breakdown.
Yeah, thanks for all the nice words there, Dan McIsaac, everybody else out there, Whimsical, everybody that's there, man. Thank you so much, Zach. What's up, man? Yeah, we did have that news on Tesla, and we had it real fast because I was in the trade. So it was just a matter of me saying, like, huh? Because all of a sudden, when you guys are looking at your P&L like we do here, it's like, boom, to the downside. I was like, what just happened? I was looking, I was like, everything's fine. And then I noticed we got out of Tesla, and there's the move down. And again, I'm quick enough on the keys. I could have taken that long, but without knowing really what it was, couldn't have got that. So I really would have liked to have gotten long there, but unfortunately, and I didn't lose it. So someone said, sorry for your dollar loss, but thank you for that. But it's not really a dollar loss. It was really just long at 224.60, out at 224.16. So it's about a 40-cent loss. It's just from the top there, it was actually $2. We were at 226, and we basically wind up getting out at 224. So it's an unrealized loss there. But as you can see, it's running back up to the upside. I would go long. Like if this was tomorrow or there was more time and this story actually could fizzle out a little bit and people could say that this probably is BS, then I would definitely be looking long right now off that play and think that we can get back to 226. But it's just so sensitive right now to this story. So for me, for Tesla, I'm going to stay out of it. But thanks, Brendan, and thanks everybody there for the nice words, because that's really what it's all about, trying to get you guys news. And we already said that we're the best station, and now you know why. CNBC is on commercial right now. So that should give you a little bit of an update there about why we are the best. And I don't want to compare ourselves to those guys, because I want to compare ourselves to somebody that's on equal playing field, and quite frankly, they're not. So, all right, 225 right now. There it goes, right back up to the upside on Tesla. So again, my bad getting out of that, but that's why we have stop orders in place. And bang, there it is right now. More money coming in for us on AMD. And again, good trade here on AMD. Sucks we got taken out a part of it, but there's the hold. 30-cent winner, man. 17-cent loser, 30-cent winner. That's always a recipe for success. What's up, King Kian? Member now for 6 months. You're the best, King Kian, not us. What's up, Brendo?
Just more on this Tesla story, guys. So the U.S. Department of Justice actually saying this was undisclosed and started as far back as last year. So maybe not necessarily that big of a deal, seeing as how if it was, you would think we would have heard something about it anyways. But undisclosed probe that started as early as last year into Tesla.
I mean, if it's that old, whatever. But that means, realistically, this is not to play like conspiracy theory, but I would imagine a lot of big players that probably hold and trade bigger shares in the longer term had sniffs of this already. And we're sort of prepared for it. Like, you've heard them dig around some of those claims before, so it might really just be a case of it's a little bit late for that move. I just spat in the face of 1-to-1 on Alphabet. That's what I'm going to get to. It got to 1-to-1 on the stop break. At that low, I didn't take it out, and now it's coming right back into the high. So that'll be on me. Like, you got to take profit on the way down, and it definitely did work out there. But I just didn't take that first leg of profit. I still do believe in two prices. 94 is not going to matter tomorrow. Obviously, 95 is a big one. But if you do pop this in and then you go back, like 94 wasn't just that SSR level. It is also this little bottom going a couple of weeks ago. So that is very much in play for tomorrow. I'm going to look for a possible bounce off of this level. just keep in mind Meta is reporting. If somehow Meta's bad, then realistically you might just be gapping through this level. You might not even get a chance at 94 tomorrow on Alphabet based on how Meta's going. And Meta is pretty strong off of these lows. It did just get back into 130, but the truth is, going into earnings, it's the exact opposite of what we saw with Microsoft and Apple, or sorry, check that, Microsoft and Google, where they were running to the upside and then eventually flushed. Same thing with Spotify. This one, going to the downside and catching a bid late, but the story has been the sell-off the last 2 days on Meta, going into earnings.
All right, thanks to Nick there. Oh, what was it? Clemency? Yeah, Clemency, thank you. Saying the chief twit already mentioned that on his call. So I guess they already talked about that on earnings, that there was that probe. So if that's the case, thank you so much for that. And it just sucks that we got taken out, but I'd rather get taken out every time than have to suffer through, a huge move down. So good call on that one. And again, thanks to everybody. And everyone's saying here that, we make CNBC look bad and all that kind of stuff. I mean, just hit the like button. CNBC you actually got to pay for, right? Here, like button, hit the like button, hit the subscribe, tell your friends and everything about us. That would be fantastic. AMD is making that move back upside. We have it, so good trade there into the closing imbalances. And here are the closing imbalances again. So if you're just joining us for the first time, welcome. These are all going to update here into the close the next time. So 9:30 is the market. Did I undo my shoes? No, I did not. 9:30 there coming through. So that was the market on open. These will all update at 3:50, giving us new indications of the market on closed order types. Not order types, but demand, supply, demand. If there's to sell, then we know that the market probably moves to the downside. If it's to buy, then it's the other way around, obviously. So far, so good. I hope you guys have enjoyed the show as we have enjoyed bringing it to you, but that's going to update in 5 minutes. And the early look from Brendan is 574 to buy. So he's given us 524, 503, 574. So we are getting an active update, and I believe he still gets that from Financial Juice. So that's not something that we come up with, and we are not affiliated with those guys, but they do provide you with guidance there on the possible closing imbalances. So
it's also an estimate.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the other thing to keep in mind. It's not, that's not insider information. Like, oh, this is what it looks like on the NYSE floor. No, it's an estimate that they make based on early looks. So that's all they do. I'm going to kick myself for not just longing this 950 level on Snapchat, but it's just bounced off it again. Like this, sometimes you see iceberg order and just go long in front of the iceberg order. Like pop that 51 long in there. Pop. You could actually be getting 50s and 50 halves as a day trader, and then it just keeps on scalping that 10 cents over and over and over again. But it's now too late in the day. I put my trail on Intel. Pfizer reclaimed 46.20, so we'll be out of that. And there's one last trade. It's back up at the high of the day. I did cancel, and this is a time of day thing. I was taking every single dip into Twitter except for that last one into 53.25. It is back at the high of the day. Tomorrow this might be one of the easier trades out there to I'm going to identify support level, bid off of that when it makes break of the channel, then readjust, because it gave you the bottom multiple times after Elon made that change to his handle and then dropped the tweet of him coming in there. All it did is make a new higher low, and I suspect it's just going to keep doing this until Friday comes. In that 54 level, we're going to see it eventually. Like you watch, if the deal's closing on Friday, you watch what it's going to look like on the level 2 when it trades up at that 54.20 level. So you want to get in your dip buy scalp trades while you can, because in the end, it doesn't move.
Oh my God.
Nice trade there for my friend here, the Weaver Welder. If we ever need some welding done, we're going to come over and hit you up.
Actually.
8,500. Oh, yeah. How did that go with the plumber? 8,500 shares long at $53. Great job there. I don't even know what Twitter's at right now, but you got 85.
53.50.
53.50, so don't get out. Just wait for 54.20 if you need the money. I think, like I said, I think it will probably take T+2 to settle. So that's if you need that 10 grand, man, get it out. Just sit at 54.10. You'll probably get that on Friday.
The last I was in one, it did take a couple of days. But
that's what I'm saying.
It was a while ago. Like the last one I was involved in was a share one. Like I got shares of Penn for score,
Right.
which is Canadian. But the last cash one was years and years ago, and it did take that T+2,
Yeah.
as you said there. But you asked about the plumber.
Yeah.
So it went well. The sink is
Good.
fine, everything. Obviously, you get a plumber same day. It is what it is. It's
I
not,
told you it was $300 an hour when they came to my house.
And of course, the first sink they use doesn't work, so it's.
No, it worked.
Oh, well.
It worked.
Then they had to use the heavy duty one, which
Yeah.
takes longer
And costs.
more. But at the end of the day, I'm just happy that
Yeah, of
we can
course.
actually
Good.
use our washing machine and dishwasher and kitchen sink. Like, that's more important than
I'm telling
anything
my
else.
kids to get. I don't even want my kids to be traders. Even though obviously they want to be, but
Just get a trade, right?
I told them, man, just do a trade, do something with your hands, because that's what my father did. He's HVAC, and I mean that worked out really well for him. It's stressful as hell, and I, you have to be very, very precise in what you're doing and know what you're doing.
You always
it's
have
very,
a gauge.
It's very, very competitive, but electrician, plumber, mechanic, anything like that matters. Specs out to any employment out there, it doesn't matter, but that's definitely an underrated one, especially these days when cash is king. So that's always nice, man. I hope you offer
Always
the guy
pay cash. Always pay
because
cash.
that's what I do. So even my kids, they're like, hey, my kids go to like Subway and ask if they could pay in
that's
cash, and they think they're going to get a better
It's
deal.
the
These
trades and my barber.
kids are hilarious.
The barber always gets cash. Got to.
Our barber only takes cash, I think. So smart man
Smart.
on that one.
It's actually hard to only take cash these days, I find.
Yeah.
Imbalances in about 30 seconds.
There we go.
I'm tightening up the stop on. I'm just going to get out at the low here. Intel's not going anywhere. Intel has a bid the same way Snapchat has a bid. So I'm just going to get out on said bid in front of earnings. Ultimately, I would have thought this would have broken and gone down to 27. But the story goes, they own a piece of Mobileye. So you would have thought as Mobileye did this, that Intel would go up.
What is Mobileye?
No
doing?
mas. Mobileye at the
Shit,
highs,
man.
and the moment at which, this is where Intel started going down. The second Mobileye opened, Intel started going to the downside. And it's just like a sell then use event. So it's a limited amount that they're going to be able to get from it. Once it's happened, boom, they're still maintaining their stake. So that's a bit of a windfall. $30 still holding on Mobileye, and imbalances are out.
Yeah, the imbalances are out right now, so we'll wait for Brendan. I see him typing in our chat right now. We will get a final number there. He's still typing, he's still typing, he's still typing. Once that comes in there, 1.8 billion. Well, it takes that long for like 7 characters. 1.8 billion to buy right now. So I say to buy, huh? AMD is actually going to the downside right now. So I don't know what's on
Google's
here.
a buy, 1.2.
Yeah, Meta's a sell, so we'll see. That's
XOM.
Meta bounced nicely up there to 130.50. That's funny. That 130. Remember we were going to go long 129.50. Oh, that would have been good, but we didn't. All right, so there's
Merck reports.
I saw Google, or you said Google. I saw Google
It's
too.
1.2 at the top.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I scrolled down to find Meta. Okay, so there's Google 1.2. So that's what's causing that 1.8 billion to buy number for sure. But it's not really moving, right? So there's Google right now. We'll zoom in quickly, not moving on that buy imbalance. Other than that, Boston Scientific there, BSX with a nice buy, CVS with a buy, Pfizer with a buy. Sorry, that was Ford I meant to say there. Ford with earnings coming there on the sell, so that's actually not doing anything. So relatively muted, I would say, despite a big number.
I'm gonna have to get your cause we can customize this tool, Daytrade the World, which is our imbalance locator. I'm gonna have to get your filter because I have to look at these these 3 penny stocks that are all $1 million. That's kind of a pain in the butt. So you're obviously filtering by something to not see these.
ARCA. I don't
you're
have ARCA.
filtering by
Yeah, I
ARCA.
never
Okay,
have
that
ARCA
makes
up.
sense. Okay,
Yeah,
that
so
makes sense.
ARCA again, the NYSE
Because there's
American.
multiple types of imbalances.
Yeah, it's like CEI and stuff like that. Like, when CEI is popping, what? CEI is 15 cents?
Of course
Oh
it
my
is.
God. I hope you guys never got murked on this one. I mean, this was another name here.
What was that other
CEI, they had a crazy share structure situation there. And look at this, man. This got to $4 or $5. This is not even that long ago. Well, this was during meme craziness. But anyways, $4 or $5, now all the way down 15 cents. Wow.
Yuck.
All right, man. Maybe you heard this here first, man. Maybe if you want to YOLO on something. Look, the only problem with YOLOing
Zila's
on
the
something
other one.
like this is that, you say to yourself, okay, when I put money in at 15 cents, how much could I actually lose? I mean, the answer is all of it. So I don't, a lot of people get caught up. You were saying a funny story about your barber buying something at 3 cents. But the problem is like, sure, if it goes to 6, you doubled your money. But when it goes to 0,
We had this conversation. I basically said when the catalyst comes, it was like it was a mining company. I was like, when the catalyst comes and you get 2 or 3x,
Might as
take
well.
that profit. Otherwise, that's what you do with penny stocks. But I'll give you one better here. Remember Zila? Zila, which got
Yeah,
all
but
the way
I can't
down.
remember what the price was.
It got to 8 or 9 cents. It reverse split, went all the way because reverse split up to $2.
You sell all
it is
reverse splits.
back to 26. Remember we talked about what I don't care what happens on the first day. Sometimes you get a bit of a bounce because it gets hyped up for whatever reason. You'll see sometimes the stock will trade up, especially in the pre-market on a reverse split. But look at it, back down to 26 cents. Like sometimes it's not that complicated. It even gave you a bit of a lower high there. So you watch out for these reverse splits when they happen. I'm not saying you're going to see one on like a Mullen, which is going nuts by the way, or on what you were just looking at it.
Oh, CEI.
Yeah, CEI. But
Camber Energy.
if Camber Energy does a reverse splits back at like $1.50, on the way back down, might be worth a bit of a look-see if there's any shortable levels. And obligatory, Mullen is moving. So as I just said to myself, maybe there'll be a trade off 46 tomorrow. Maybe there won't be because Mullen just took out 55 cents and is going to the upside. If they do a reverse split, I still think it's a bearish overall. But this always has so much social media hype behind it. You'd probably want to be very patient if they do split or something like that to short it. And if this gets to $1, that is one of those days where sign me up. I'll be taking my shot if it gets there.
All right. Yeah, not much to talk about there other than the fact that AMD is just bouncing off $60. I mean, the highest we got there was $60.03. I'm going to put an offer right here at $60.10, $60.10 or so. If we can get that, then great. We will take that out to that side there. We could get sked out at 6. It's a nice little 30-cent win. There is only 5 minutes left in the day. Okay, just looking, there was some news from the White House there, but it doesn't seem to be anything. Okay. By the way, has anyone seen Kamala Harris lately? All right, what's up, Brendan, with earnings?
That's a random comment. Let's talk about some earnings, guys. I was just double checking. Both Ford and Meta 405 tonight, so should be relatively close to the close. Here we go. Aftermarket tonight and before the open tomorrow.
And so I should preface this because someone said, what about GE, their reverse split? That was good for a little bit.
That was horrible.
Well, okay, no. Because I said the same day or the next day you shorted. GE actually wasn't a good short until, if you shorted that level, it was good for a while and then it tanked. But you were okay for a few weeks on GE if you bought that top, but it didn't last very long. Ford. Ford's in the midst of a breakout. It's right at that 13. It's already found its bottom at $11. I loved it down there. I rotated from some GM to Ford at that low. It's not like I bowed it outright. I was just sort of like, well, if you're going to be in one, it's got a better bottom there, and it also has that dividend. I just felt like I wanted that protection in case the level broke. So I'm pretty interested here for the first time on Ford. But let's be real, Meta is going to be the lead tomorrow morning. TDOC should be volatile. But Meta definitely takes the cake.
I just wanted to see this GE chart here. So I just want to see.
It held up for a little bit. It did.
Yeah, that's fine. But I mean, it's just August. This was August 2nd. So just to see relatively here, it goes all the way back. So yeah, so this is where it's split right into here. I guess it was August 2nd, 2021, right? Obviously, it's not this August. Yeah, down there, 2021. So yeah, so it flatlined here and then never really got. It's almost like something happened. Oh, that must have been earnings, a good earnings or something, boosted it all the way up. But then since then, so this is right here, August. So it's right here. So yeah, it was pretty good. It was 102, got as high as 107. But the thing is, every market is getting killed right now.
True.
So it doesn't matter. Industrial's getting
But
hammered.
it is generally
you saw
bearish.
Deere and Honeywell and
Look,
all.
it's a generally
It
bearish.
is. You're only really reverse splitting for one reason. I mean, it's just most of the companies that reverse split. GE was unique, but most of the companies will reverse split to get over that dollar to get to the NYSE and the NASDAQ listing requirements. So never a great sign when they reverse split, that's for sure. And then it just gives traders more room to short, right? So that is what that's going on there. Let's check Meta into earnings right here. Why not? All right, so Meta has bounced a little bit. We were down a lot more, down to 128. Well, not a lot more. I guess a buck more than that, down to 128.50, making a little bit bounce up. Wow, I am so excited for those earnings coming through now. We're gonna wait to see what happens with Meta, Ford, all of those names. So there's a lot of big ones. I just said Kamala Harris there because we looked at some of the weed names earlier, but we didn't trade them at all.
Yeah.
I will always fade these plays, and we should have done it again today, but we didn't. And CGC, a nice little win. I still have thousands of shares of these things. It's just a matter of like ACB, CGC, Tilray. TrueLeave is actually a good one there as a multi-state operator, MSO. So that's where I believe the money is. And then I don't have any grow generation brands anymore. That one was pretty bad. We actually were able to do pretty well on that because that was a Kamala Harris play on the debate that they had before she was vice president. Now you're going to see, I'm actually even hearing rumors. You guys tell me that I don't think she's even going to, I don't think the Dems want her to run as his running mate again. So we'll wait to see on that one. That's what I heard. So we'll see if that comes through. November 8th, I guess, are the midterms. So that should be exciting. There's always movement around midterms. So we're going to watch to see the market. That normally it kind of fades in, rallies after, but we're going to wait to see what happens on November 8th. I mean, obviously there's a lot of issues there. So we won't talk about politics. Just that's a key date, November 8th coming in for midterms, and all of you guys know that. So
well,
the
if
midterm
it moves stocks,
pump,
if it moves stocks, we talk about it.
Yeah, that's
the reality.
It's
right?
not about who wins or who loses. We're just talking about that, and it affects many things, like, for example, defense stocks, when you
Clean
have
energy names.
ideologies and stuff like that, and marijuana names. So,
exactly.
you know, that's why we talk
Like if
about
you
that.
hold like ChargePoint or Plug Power, like believe me, you give a damn about the midterm elections. Let's just be real. Of
I mean, I
course
think
you do.
there's
Of course you do.
so much there.
Yeah.
They're saying Kamala got her walking papers in the summer. It feels like it. All right, so only 30 seconds to go now in the market. We do have El Tigre on the bell there. Tony the Tiger.
On a Wednesday.
They're Frosted Flakes. I haven't had those in a while, probably loaded with sugar. I remember when we were kids, man, everybody just had. Now my wife doesn't even feed my kid. They're not even allowed to have that stuff.
I wasn't allowed as a kid.
They have to have all
And
that.
you know what happens when you do that? The second I got to university,
you loaded it up.
the first time we went to the grocery store, I bought every single one of those cereals
I
that
like
I could
shredded
eat.
wheat.
Over
You ever had
shredded wheat.
before? I mean, it's kind of. I know you had to put a little bit of sugar
Sorry,
on that.
Tony, in 3, 2,
What's up? 2 and 1.
Dude, shredded wheat's nasty.
Yeah, you gotta put a little bit of, I don't know if it's sugar, or I don't know, or honey maybe.
You can't
on
eat
the
shredded
top.
wheat.
Well, you
shredded
squish
wheat.
it. It's
I don't
fine.
know,
I don't
you
mind
really?
shredded
You like
wheat.
that?
Yeah.
I can't do that one.
Look, I would run, but the thing is, I'm Canadian.
Jose just said their West Indian parents only let you have cornflakes. Actually, that's not true.
Or Shreddies.
I was also allowed to have Cheerios.
Yes.
Plain Cheerios I was also allowed to have as well.
Cheerios are great.
It wasn't just cornflakes.
Yes. Well done, Tony. Good one there. Meta finna die very, very soon. So we'll wait to see here what's going to happen with Meta coming out very, very soon. But
It
let's
ain't
go
over yet.
over to Brendo. Maybe we'll have Meta live for you. Maybe we won't. Brendan, how did the market wind up?
Mixed day overall, guys. The Dow was positive, so there's that. Only just, however, it was all about this one, though. 2.18 back to the downside for the NASDAQ today. Pretty good day here in Toronto. 0.9 to the upside on this, mainly 3.3 to the upside for crude oil today. Yeah, crypto's continuing as well, even as we speak to the upside.
Crypto.
Yeah, they've been super strong.
All right, so
Everyone's talking cereal.
yeah, Meta could come out at 405. We're not going to stay here for that unless it does come out a little bit early. Someone asking, do we trade aftermarket? Now, unfortunately, here at Day Trade the World, we have to be flat at 4 o'clock. But there are, if the earnings play does happen pretty quick, you can get in and out. But for me, it's kind of like I don't trust earnings at all, and I've never really seen a successful strategy for earnings plays. So you guys can hold that for what you want. I know Sharif was working on something until he just kept getting smoked. So he even talked about that on the show. So we'll wait. You can talk to Sharif when he comes back about that. I tend to stay away from those earnings reports, but to each their own. I would not trade it. If you want to have some fun with it, fine, but I would never put real capital to work. I don't see anything out yet.
No, nothing's moving.
So
Ford's not
maybe-
moving.
Maybe we'll just wrap it up. I mean, if we
Meta's
have
obviously not
3,000
moving.
likes, maybe we'll keep going. But 1.2K, sorry. But yeah, we don't have that there. Again, you guys aren't even going to get a wrap on Friday. Like,
It's getting out of
I mean,
hand.
it's getting out of hand,
Hey, what's up,
the
brother?
likes right now. But all right, so that's what that is, guys. Thank you so much for everything. It's been a fantastic day once again. I want to thank everybody. I especially want to thank Lucas and Liz because Fahad's not here today, so they're
better,
running the
Fahad.
board fantastically. Want to thank Prad and Luca, well, all day, man, today. So those are the two guys. They're the real champs coming through right now. Still have Meta on the screen. Nothing happening right now, so stay tuned for that. But for everybody here at Trader TV Live, make sure you join us again. Nice one, Justin. Make sure you join us again tomorrow at 8:30, yeah, we'll have more fun. So see you tomorrow, and good luck with earnings. Ciao, everybody.
Bye, guys.